今日は NA のノックアウトステージでございます。1回戦書いてある通りソニックスとオキシゲン、そして SSG とワイルドカードゲーミングとなります。それでは見ていきましょう。分かりづらこの番緑だからクラブハウス3層オレゴン、なんか面白みのあるマップが逆に出てこなくなったね。ソニックスがクラブハウス、オレゴンが間違えた、3層がオキシゲンか。いきましょう。
If you're a fan of Soniqs, you are looking at a lot of very close games, and the one thing that would come to mind for Soniqs is that while they have an immense amount of potential and on paper one of the best rosters in the North America League, that you see
basement bomb side with all those hatch openings as you can create with the X-Kairos, Asami just makes attacking a complete nightmare. And OXG, they start attacking so unfortunately one of the strongest defenders in the game. So it just makes too much sense not to do that. And then again, Kaid, we start to see this operator being banned more and more often. Simply because it gives you more freedom on the attack and operator lineup. You don't gotta bring the thatcher necessarily or secondary impedes unless you want to. Where OXG, they bring it anyway. So they don't care about the kite ban necessarily for this particular round. And OXG just playing their fundamentals, their basics. They want to ensure they can get to the bomb side in due time, break them all the hot walls that they need. And we saw OXG in their game yesterday, they were kind of struggling in the open and kill department. So I think the focus for OXG is going to have to be to support Newers and support Fish. Just help them accomplish those entry goals of the team and just take it nice and slow to start things off.
Newers had a rough game yesterday, and in terms of consistency, it's been Yaga as the star of OXG so far this stage. Passes the eye test as well as passing stats test too. Cheeky little run out from Gunner from that garage door. Very first pick is on to Dream. Goodbye to the ace, and now Yaga drops as well. All for naught. A Citizen is bleeding out and could be retrievable, but not before it's Newers to finish things off. 1 minute left in the round. Soniqs with the advantage.
から逆転されるのエンタメシーンマジでそうだよね。てか VP 何やってんだよと思ったけどな。消化試合っぽく感じで、まあでも一応 VP 首位かかってたんだけどさ、かかってねえか。あれそのまま負けても確か首位だった気がする。
Down some very important tools they'll need to attack this gym bomb site.
I mean, I guess it's worth noting that Citizen should have just outright died, but he got like a one-tap hip-fire trade essentially. Like he got injured, but he also took down Yonk at the same time. And that's going to put OXG in a really poor position now because they would have lost one more member alive. Let's execute 3 attackers against 4 defenders. You only have a couple ways into this bomb site, and now because of the numbers, the defenders can be watching every single entrance to the race.
Nades pressure ready from Newers. He finds that bedroom is now open. As he gets the pick and continues to soldier on, but what have OXG not done? Figure out what to do with Gunner down below, who has information. Stops them in the process, manages to get the defuse plant. Now it's Fish's attempt, but a bit of sloppiness upstairs on the bed. No amount of play.
ベッドってあれ以上下がると車線に入っちゃう。
Didn't get the bomb down, just shoot through the bed. Attacker opening free because if you're Solace, you know there's no Claymore, and you know there's no drone watching you either. OXG, they were very slow on the timer last round, but Fish is sprinting down the main staircase right now, trying to get an off-pace play and catch somebody on the rotation. The only issue is the mirror window from Citizen. Well, he'll see it. The gig's kind of up, but OXG have secured themselves pretty much the full map and control. The only thing that could be an issue for them is the blue staircase. Foxy and Dream, they're narrowing into that area as well.
They don't know. Oh, Fish. Not even a minute into the round. Gunner was playing in the hallway. He's gone. The bandit batteries are still on church wall. So there will be at least some salvage of his operator there, though I don't know how long they'll last for with the Thatcher on the board.
順位的にはオキシの方が上だったよね。オキシ3位フィニッシュだった。
If you see a drone down the main staircase that quickly, that was Citizen who even shot it, you would probably assume that the entry from the attack is relatively quick. But I mean, then again, it's not supposed to be that quick. I mean, that was literally just OXG with a phenomenal drone work and Fish saying, I'm gonna follow that drone all the way down that main staircase and catch somebody off guard. The patience, well, it paid off. They played that 4 versus 5 now in their favor, and they have a great lineup for the attack. Sure, there's no Ying or any like brute force side operator, but with a combination of Thatchery and Peace and clever usage, together with some grenades or those Grim Mines being shot out with the bees, you can figure out the player locations and hit those executes. And this was phenomenal Thatcher EMP usage. Using it on the floor above the blue to deny the area near that AK shield position. And then the nade follows from Newers. All of a sudden, those strong positions from the defenders are slowly being, you know, pushed apart essentially. And allowing for an easier attack later in this round.
The attack onto this church wall is there's been very limited action in the minute after that very first pick. Citizen and Geo side by side, now seeking to retreat inside a church and avoid the crosshairs of OXG. Geo on the board, down goes Yaga. Geo still in this position. That was by bottom of the main stairs. Now it's Dream next one lined up, and Geo just can't control his recoil, but had the lineup playing with just a small portion of that reinforced wall still in place.
今日治ってるといいね。一応土日まで治らないとマジでしんどいと思う。ブラックミラーあるの言ったね。オキシ押したの？押し切ったんだ。嘘でしょ。祭壇割れたぐらいだったのに。え？あ、まあ今の最後の損のそこはしょうがないか。なんで押せたんだよ。
Hoping back. No.
Yes. Why it was curious that happened because Citizen saw the drone earlier, so you'd think that he's gonna be like, okay, there might be a guy main stairs, guys, watch out.
So, and then, you know, 5 seconds later, 10 seconds later, guys just come sprinting around trying to trip his C4 the ceiling, which would have been a good play. 東京ゲームショウの一般で行った時って俺通路マジでゆっくり進まないと空いてないぐらいの勢いだった記憶があるからさ。
Quite a lot. You can see exactly why as it pays dividends on that CCTV wall. First cut by the Maverick and then
季節の話、季節の暑さの話、わかんない。今日すごい都内は過ごしやすいよ。曇りで雨降るけど。週間天気さっきちらっと見たら今日涼しいのかなと思って気温見てたんだけどさ。来週また後半暑くなるっぽい。
And imagine that the next step is going to be that construction wall. And sure enough, as I say that, the Selmas from Dream tearing away and opening up an entry point for Oxygen. Yet another. That's the third way in to begin taking control of this top floor.
Soniqs, they gotta lash out somewhere and try and find a pick. And Gunner is your man to do it. C4 downstairs in kitchen. Because if you don't, you're simply gonna get choked out of this CCTV bomb set relatively soon. This is one of those sites that it's very weak to hold the site itself. And it's also kind of hard to extend anywhere that's not the catwalk garage. So we see a very natural kind of round play out. But there it is, the man of the hour. It's Gunner downstairs with no real intel to hit that blind C4. It's Jock on the box. So it's not the highest value kill. You could have killed Newers with 2 grenades and maybe the Harbinger or Dream or Foxay. But still, you get that kill, you get a small advantage, and you also buy time for your team. Because Geo on the smoke, well, he has 2 toxic waves remaining. There's only going to be about 45 seconds left in the round here. So if he plays his cards correctly, he could force OXG to go for a very late round execute.
Citizen's still down below as well in that lurk role. He is so well known, usually so strong on. Fish lighting up the brick wall, but there's nobody there to receive the bullets. I'm the only player who's taken any damage at all. Newers on the board, but Geo has his teammates back. That was Citizen flushed out from below. Now Dream walking up ever so slowly to this cash bomb site. OXG just reduced to the 2 hard breachers. It's all up to Dream. As Gunner swings the opening, and Dream has many angles to cover.
ドリームさんが意外に手動じゃなくて裏の1枚だったんだよね。
She can far away from the advantage of that and force those 5v4s.
ブラストの NA でさっきも言った。いやこれ NA だよ。その NA だよ。それを頭から見てるだけで。
Basement clear. Attackers have no clue about top floor.
リザグラさんこんに
You've
ちは。いらっしゃ
jammed it up.
い。
You've broken to rush the bomb side and just simply spend more time in the first, minute and a half of this round for OXG.
Solus far removed over on Strip. I always smile when I see Geo playing in this particular point in the map because I go back to the SI that we had in Sweden. He was playing Castle on TSM in that particular spot, and it was an innovative strategy at the time. I have not really seen teams be that keen to repeat it, and well, I don't know if I can blame them. It seemed to go well
EU の
for
話してた
TSM now and then, but I think
EU
teams
が
play a
マ
little
ジ
bit
ね
more
まあノックアウト
structured.
選手楽しかったけどね
Maybe
1
don't
回
extend
戦
over
マ
to
ジ
that
で
point
EU の
of
ね
the
最
map.
終日
All
が
the
マジで
while,
何見せられてんだと思うぐらいクソだった
walking
か
in,
ら
claiming bar stage, but
噛み合わねえ噛み合わねえ両チ
Theo
ーム
is there and ready. Couldn't tell if he was actually playing on billiards or was still inside a strip, but Lures and Fish were prime targets for him.
A lack of intel here, you know, you see it in action. They don't know
もう
about the
結構
top
単
floor,
独
they
遊
don't
撃
know
出
about
す
strip,
ね
and I like this double roam. Gunner inside of Alphas
最
and
近
Juice
では
out of strip
珍しいスタイル
because now there are two fronts the defenders can work with, and
いやで
neither
も
has
ガ
been
ンナーに
drawn
だいぶ
down.
構っ
So
て
even
る
if
か
Gunner gets
ら
picked off here,
これは
they're
時
not
間
going
だ
to
いぶ使
expect
わせ
you
る
to
ぞ
be roaming as well. And look at how much time Fox and Oaks are spending on this
一番
roam.
出てる
And Soniqs even have intel. Gunner could easily get one kill here and trade 1-for-1.
IQ のヨガさんが
Drone out Gunner.
仕事でき
Has
てな
some
い
challenges as the nade
うわ
goes in, but he ends up winning his
タイミングわ
fight.
かるよ
Lures
ね
has no
ブラックアイで見えてたもんねだっ
support.
て
Yaga seems to be a bit too slow. Gunner has an opportunity for a second pick.
ここでもう一枚来た
Push from the stairs. All this time continuing to go
あ
down.
あいい
but
クロス
Gunner backs up a little bit too much and through the soft wall.
それはさすがのうまさ
Yaga claims his kill.
ただ45秒だぞここで
Gio is still downstairs though. OXG might have suffered a Pyrrhic victory on that one. Yes, you take care of Gunner
これは
upstairs,
時間なさおじゃない
but you've now taken 2
あ
minutes
あ
off
来
the
ま
clock,
したね
and there's
ジ
Gio
オ
to
さんが
strike. Fish
これで上に構わないってなったら
totally
もう
exposed.
時間
There he
なさ
goes,
お
and this is going to throw OXG into a tailspin. As with 30 seconds to go, they have to
今
find
ヌアーズの
Gio
上げ方
while
と
also pulling off an execute. There goes Fox A as SQ's
ヨガの
anchors get the
IQ の
job done.
ルー
Dream
ト
finds
が
himself
全
in
然
an
噛み合わな
unwinnable
かった
position
ね
again. Yaga on main floor, still fighting shadows, still boxing against Gio.
ジオさん全然音聞
Lands
いてな
with
か
the
った
uppercut.
めちゃくちゃ走ってたの
How do you recover with diffuser surrendered? You have to walk through double doors with 3 separate angles being held. Nobody wants to engage. They know that the
これ
clock
は
will
遊
ultimately
撃して
win
やっ
the
たりやな
Who's going to be on the was
オキシ攻撃で盤面作れてないね
this. Groups where Sonic
ソニックスマップだよな
fires.
レフティさんおはようござい
It's
ま
a
す
6-1 score line, or record rather, for SQ on this map. So right now, yeah, it might be a defender favored Clubhouse, but the numbers on the board seemingly going the way that we know and expect for SQ.
Yeah. I mean, they also picked the map, so I guess you can kind of say, you know, what gives. Because they're supposed to be doing well on this. But the analysts did point out that they should be a map 3 kind of banger.
SQ ってプレイオフから対策ガチガチにしてくるのほんまあのさ SQ さやっぱり優秀なんだろうね分析班だって昨日の今日だよ対戦でも分かってなかったんだよ青電さんこんにちはいらっしゃいそこはなんかチーム力出るよ
There it is, Gunner again, having an extraordinarily good game. It's not just him as he picks up 3, the sidearm out. Whole team seemingly getting on this, but Gunner credited with 3 of those kills. Yaga's last man standing. He picks up a kill, and there's a team kill as well from Soniqs, maybe a bit too.
Or puts himself, maybe rather. Things to happen. Player could have done it. I mean, try.
ジオやっぱいぶし銀よ
You know,
世界のいぶし銀よマジで
they keep bringing up the thatch, which kind of limits how aggressive you can play because all of a sudden you have 2 hop breachers, an 8 operator, and a thatcher.
ジョーブロっていうのが見ので全部さジョーブロってなんかで聞いたななんだっけ
And Fish had some major issues.
あ NA ともぞうとか呼ばれてた元コーチだよね
does want to go in first because of those
はい
issues
はいはい
as
はい
well.
はいはい
So Oshia kind of boxed himself out here for like a little bit. Well, that's a counter.
That's an unfortunate position for
And
Gunner
he's
to be in.
gone.
A reward for your previous
これはガンナーのポ
efforts.
カですね
Nade gets rolled in through the drone hole over towards Jim. And Gunner blows sky high. OXG are going to very quickly reveal.
今 GM じゃないよアナリストに変わったんだよ
They've cleared out the
Joe Bro.
entirety of the gym and bedroom side of the map.
コーチで
They need to
後ろでスー
translate
ツ
that
着
over
て
to
た
Cache CCTV. Soniqs have
でもゴッドスネさんに戻し
one
て
fewer player than
ジ
they started with.
ョーブロがアナリストし
Citizens
ますっ
lurking
て言
down
って
below on that Valkyrie again, that lurk roll. Something that
なんだっけなんかで試合出たよねあれなんか液晶山っちゃったっ
make you pay
け
for it. But I will
混ざって
say, I think OXG has
BDS
done a
の
very
元
good job of
コーチと
isolating
混ざ
him
って
so far in this match. Yeah, he's had some kills, but I don't think he's taken OXG by surprise. This is actually something that a lot of teams used to talk about with
Mitchell Shirley
relaxing. And I remember
Dixon.
having a conversation with Fabian at one point where He said, as long as you're constantly aware that Laxing will flank you and come from an unpredictable angle, you can put somebody really strong on flank watch and defang the entirety of that flank. Nice play by OXG as they swept through the bomb site so far, done so flawlessly. The numbers will continue to go in their favor. And the man we were just speaking of, Citizen, turning the bomb site, getting one pick onto Newers as the diffuser goes down.
いや今のヘッドラインの合わせもえぐいな。だって
upstairs on rafters.
ノーマルのヘッドの位置じゃないから。
As he has to get back into the site, or maybe go down below.
さすがの資産でも無理か。
あ、バイオス。
なんだっけ、ラハーレが入国できなかった時にバイオス出て一番選手よりも熱かった男バイオス。あれ良かったね。
I mean, I'd be happy with that end result, but
yeah,
I mean, still. OXG had
4人の折り返しはまずまずなんじゃないですか。
Ultimately came up short on.
みんなさ、エコーの場合、濃いのを
ourselves a very tight
好きに
game.
使ってるね。みんな好きなんだね、この色合い。
You hear the ram going off that boogie upstairs, making an ungodly amount of noise. There's Citizen to die as OXG strike first on their very first defense. Nitro cell works. I guess an IQ didn't see that coming.
Ironic. One thing speaking of dynamic on Clubhouse is the attacking operator lineup and even defense as well. Very
いや、
different
この
from one
雑
team
な
to
感じでやっ
another.
ぱり突き下げここまでできるのは
Getting the very first round for
いいね。
Soniqs. Oshi did not bring these operators whatsoever. Then we see Echo being brought by OXG, clearly favoring Intel, but not the IQ. I guess they want more plant deny oriented information, the Yokai that can stun out the planter that is, more so than the Valkyrie cameras for the roam to play off of. And I don't think they're entirely wrong. We know Dream loves to bring a good old Maestro, one of the few Maestro players left in T1 play right now. But again, the issue is the cameras can't move if you're playing Maestro, so they'll just die because, you know, they'll be droned out, pinged, and then destroyed. So I really like the Yokai pick here, and the fact that it's IQ who dies first as well, at least one Yokai should be up for that bump side execute, and it's going to be a problem for the attack.
開いたは開いたけど。
It's an exceptionally quiet round, especially with a ram on the board. You'd think it'd be a little
ちょっ
bit
とどこから
louder.
着手するかだな。
Neither of these teams very intent on making noise. Common position now assumed by Soniqs as
お、ロイパーさん、ロイハーパーさんおはようございま
of
す。
this round. Candelas were heralded their
レッドブルバロの大会見ますか。レッドブルバロの大会ってあれか、両国国技館でやるやつ見ないです。あんまり公式戦以外そんなに興味ないんですよ。
Suddenly Soniqs have completely toppled.
あれもどこから崩した？
Fish is the only member
祭壇側
left
だよ
and
な。
he's inside a dirt tunnel. Swinging out in a bit of sloppiness as Grixer gets the
Single kill and watching this in for that defender in dirt. So they're both stuck. Usually cannot leave. The only way out would be an Asami that would throw a keeper barrier to cover the hatch, but Asami's banned by Oxygen. So they're limiting themselves a lot in those kinds of bomb site positions, and I guess Soniqs took great advantage to that because yeah, it was 5 versus 4 technically, but Fish wasn't in the fight.
シアンさんおはようございます。寒すぎて風邪ひきました。季節の変わりにもお気をつけて。おお、シアンさんどこなの？都内もね、涼しくはなったけど、その寒いとまではないかな。でもコーヒーはちょっともう冷たいやつはやめて、レンジでチンして食べる。
That's rough.
And Fish is secured by Rexon.
Oh, that's a tilter. That is a tilter. One of the worst ways to die in Siege period has always been standing too close to a drone hole that faces the outside of the building. And attackers are not supposed to really look through those for drones. But hey, right place, the right time, and you might find yourself an entirely free kill.
あー、北海道か。北海道ってさ、この夏マジでクソ暑かったでしょ。北海道民には辛い30度超えで、今9度だったら、そりゃ寒いよな。いや、なんかそうかなと思ったんだよな。寒いわけじゃないの、こっちは。
And an opening pick to take out the Legion and also potentially wrestle away first floor control from Oxygen means Soniqs could be very close to a 6-2 scoreline, in which case, given how close these teams are, yeah, Oxygen's never a team that you can count out, but I don't know if Oxygen's a
北海
good
道も
enough
2週
team
間
to
前
win
35度もあったん
4 rounds in a
だ
row and
す
send
げ
us
え
to
な
overtime, especially when you're
なんか
going
道
up
民が
against a
感じたことない
competition
暑さだっ
like
て聞いたから
SQ, who are themselves quite good.
あグリック
We
さ
know
がいい
OXG are capable of it, but the likelihood
あれ
very
さこちゃ
slim. Final 30 seconds.
おいい勝負
and
どれ
Green
さ
goes for broke, swinging onto the Logi
ただ
hatch
8に
down
8
to
にさらされて
Citizen.
る
Rexon drops two. The kill feed is OXG's as Grixer will drop to his death. Dream still in this position. Things have gone from good to bad in a hurry for SQ, and it continues to go in that
綺麗なク
direction.
ロス漏れてたもん
At this
な
point, Soniqs might only get to pick on the fish, and that's exactly what happened.
OXG
昨日 NA の試合見た後さ久しぶりにシージやってたのスタンダードね
they actually
クソ下手になってた自分
are swinging the windows. They were swinging the main breach in Jacuzzi
1
as
週
well.
間でやれたの
So a bit of
テロハンぐらいだ
recalibration
からテロ
perhaps
ハン
in here for
1時間ぐらいだ
Soniqs,
か
but
ら
again, they got time to work with. It should not be an issue
そ
for
れ
them.
下手になってる
Jammer though, proving to be a little bit too difficult given that you have Maverick on the board, but it's a work in progress here. Yeah, exactly.
ゴースタ
Now, I mean, fun fact, you could just repel and put the thermal charge a little bit higher, and the jammer doesn't get it. But oh, wait a second, they're in and they're out.
Well,
ああ割れた瞬間
they
窓
were
から
in.
入ったのか
Their bodies are still in.
打ち勝ったように見たら見えない失敗したね
Two very quick kills for OXG, only sacrificing a small bit of Yaga's HP in the process. Again, I think OXG is very happy with this trade.
東京ゲームショウ行った
And
方がいいと
honestly,
思う
if
け
you're
ど今
Sonic,
年
you
はだいぶ
attempt
混みそ
something
う
that
だ
we
よ
saw
行
from
く時は気をつけ
OXG.
て
OXG on the other part of the map, over on the side of Jim, tried that go for broke strategy, but fell short.
北海道は住宅でも学校でもクーラーだかエアコンだか
Which
の設
honestly I
置
would
が
have
義
liked
務
to
で
have
は
seen
ないの
what
で
the
本当に上手
overall
なるほ
idea
ど
is for
ね
them. And you lost the Maverick, whose job admittedly seems to be done. Soniqs do get
ボ
on
ロ
the
が
board.
出
They
るの
pick
は
off
去
Yaga.
年
That's the
22
smoke.
いや
Out
明
of
日
all
じ
the
ゃない
operators
明
that
後
OXG
日
has
24
available,
日曜日だよ
Smoke is probably one of the worst to lose with half of the round to
俺も
go.
一緒にステー
You
ジ
can
出たん
still
です
see
け
the
ど
gas
ボールは
lingering,
確か
so it's not
モ
like
バイルと
Yaga
もう
died
一
without
個
using
CG
some
モバイ
of
ル
his
ともう一
gadgetry.
個
I think
あれじ
the
ゃない
theory here was that they're
ディ
gonna
ビジョン
throw
か
in
なんかあ違う
flashbangs
わ
from the breach
別
and
の
then jump
PC
in
ブ
the
ースか
window.
な
And when you pop the Thinker stem,
なんか
you
別のステージももう一個出
basically
るはず
remove
だった
all
気がする
negative flash effects
告
on
知
your
されたんで
teammates,
確認してく
which
だ
means
さい
that the person jumping the window isn't flashed, but the defenders are supposed to be.
24
Do
日
that
1日いる
while
はず
counter firing the catwalk rafters, like we also saw, to limit the
明
catwalk
日いなかった
from swinging that window jumping player.
おー
It just
勝つ
didn't
かい
work out, but look at this.
相打ち
Maybe
か
there is still life left in this round for
ここでワンチャ
Soniqs.
ン
They
作っ
get
た
that crucial catwalk rafters in control. That's going to give them
うざ
a chance in this round. But a C4 from Dream, Valkyrie cameras, Fenrir sketch is still up. It's going to be a hard one for them.
That's such a frightening spot to be in on the bottom of the stairs for Grixer, but he manages to aggress. And now needs to find a vault in, and he's the last one left. So while he looks for an opening into the bomb site, and he's found it, he's lost his only ally of Geo.
ああ
Diffuser's
一
there,
バレ
but
してんのか
he's under watch with 10 seconds to go. And the moment that he tries the plant, I'm certain OXG will be
グリ
compelled
ク
to
サ
act.
強いよな
But Grixer just going for picks. If there's
Trying out a... Somebody is... Well,
53?54?
and that...
our stage, a map
54まで来ま
quite
し
a
た
lot. OXG and win their second defense on Church quite
黒曜石
decisively.
迷彩って何
OXG hoping to accomplish the same thing as they will now go back downstairs to that church bomb site.
Oh, this is a classic. I mean, I spoke earlier about the small, intricate details of this map. All of a sudden, we're shipping out a bandit on Yacht who's roaming top floor and just bandit trick the CCTV wall because it's typically the first all the attackers are going to breach, or the breach that and Jacuzzi at the same time to take top floor and control for the roam clear. So now Gunner, he just walks up to the wall, puts down that secondary hard breach on the bug, and well, you know, it gets sapped. It's gone. And that's gonna force us to go, okay, we need to find a new entry point inside the map. Let's try and go Jacuzzi maybe. Look where Yog is. He's now on Jacuzzi's side. Soniqs, they aren't actually going for Jacuzzi.
スーパーがいた時はさ普通にグリグリクサーとかいやなんか最初グリクサーが入った時はバンバングリクサーが前にいてアタッカーやってキル取ってたイメージだったけど途中からすぐサポートになって記憶あるけど完全レックスにいたからねこれなんていうのギアウドブクさんでいいのかなフォローありがとうございます
First pick goes to Soniqs, as he talked about. Fish dying again. A similar spot. Now it's Newers's time to say goodbye.
ただあれだよな、ブラックアイどこまでヨガが見つけられるヨガじゃねえしてる同じようなアイコンだから間違えた。いやでもこれヨガは引きたいけどな。いやまあでも引けないからもう時間稼ぎか。
Playing on that entry role, you expect him to be one of the first people in action. You don't want to gamble on him too often. Yaga taking down Rex and re-engaging. Here's another inside of construction. He's being hunted down on his top part of the map. Soniqs finding themselves almost stuck in the mud. Doesn't look like any of the silhouettes are even close to the basement at the moment. With only 30 seconds left, that's not ideal. So what do? They ignore Yaga, leave him be, kill him on the way back. There's the nearsighted effect that Fox A is looking to capitalize off of, as now the execute comes in for Soniqs with only 15 seconds on the clock. Fox A well prepared to meet these players from Soniqs inside of blue. Where's Dream? Where's Yaga? They're the real question marks. Yaga's got the cross into blue. He'll try to soften them up. It's Yaga and Dream against Citizen, who has the diffuser in hand, but he's in a hopeless position. And there are the spam pings. He falls. On the opponent.
さすがラウンド間で修正してくるね、オキシゲン。タイムアウト取っても流れ崩せなかったな。ちょっとソニックスきつくなってる。ヨガ今は、いやマジでやられない。そうやられないじゃなくて、クレパピがここで生き残ったらどれだけ嫌かっていうのをよく考えろって言ってるけど、まさにその通りだった。生き残ることの意味をちゃんと考えてる。でもここあっさりブラックミラー割れちゃったね。まあまあ阻害要因何もないからしょうがないんだ。でもさ、あんなに簡単にブラックミラー割れちゃうとさ、なんかどういう守り方の作戦プランなのかちょっとハテになるよね。外直の壁は割れるのはしょうがないんだけどさ。気になるな。あ、2つドローン壊してる。
They've gone to over the last 3 rounds. Soniqs just cannot tackle these defenses by OXG.
生き残ったらどれだけ嫌かはハングリーさんに聞かせる。ハングリーさんな、この間の試合マジでファーストブラッド多かったからな。ファーストデス多かったからな。あれはちょっとマジで笑えるレベルじゃなかった。いじれるレベルじゃないぐらい悲惨だった。
He's severely cooled off, and I will say Soniqs were a little bit dependent on him earlier on. And I was saying, what if Gunnar gets picked off on defense? Well, that didn't really happen. But what if Gunnar can't find those same openings on the attacking side? He's playing Maverick, he's a bit more restricted, and you're up against a very, I would say, passive OXG for the most part, playing close in the bomb site, not giving any of the openings. But look at this timer. It's ticking down and nobody's acting. Right now the dose is, it's time to go, Soniqs.
ハングリーニキにアストがコーチングしてる。アストで誰？
Nobody losing any HP? Well, I mean, you didn't lose any HP, you just lost your life.
いやでもやっぱここ崩されたよね。結局シャワー。
Now the march for Soniqs as they are in.
わー。
Gio thought he had a window of opportunity, but Fish says no, thank you. Numbers favoring OXG, they just continue to get better.
世界を救えるか。もう一人まだ上なのか。さすがに無理だ。
There's Yaga firing back. Suddenly Rexon has to pivot and an about face is in order. His eyes are set on construction. Might he get one? No, he doesn't. 4 in a row from
ソニックスが流れ掴んだかなと思ったけど、オキシが立て直したね。
Look much a little bit too easy for OXG when you do it that way. We saw them try and make for that semi-rush last time on CCTV.
しかもワイルドのスクリーム配信してた時にハングリーさんが作戦提案とかしてたから FB しまくりはマジで笑え。そうなんだ。
A good old get the breach first on CCTV wall.
なんで昨日あんなにやられたんだろうね。
And then either choose to go
昨
construction
日とか一昨日か正
or
確
to
に。
simply try and clear out the catwalk
なんか
rafters.
すごい
Typically
な
we'll
ん
look at the
か
upper lineup and go,
なんだろう
what
な。
do we think they're going to do
う
in
ま
this
く
round? Well, when an attacker team is playing Capital, 9 out of 10 times they're gonna go for that
ア
garage
プローチさ
attack
れ
because the
て
capital firebolts on the catwalk
例えば
rafters combined
屋
with
外への
grenades are the
勝負で
two only ways to really clear the
一番
catwalk
後ろにいたハングリーが
position.
狩られたとかだったら
That's
かわい
when
そうだ
Newer's
けど
gonna
なんか
sit on
勝
the
負してたん
line.
だよ
So it's kind of all up to Newers to try and
なんかラ
save
インが合
this
ってなく
round
てパン
or
パンやられ
I mean, he can die. It'll be a harder round for his teammate. But if Newers is successful at holding the catwalk Raptors, that's basically the round over in favor of OXG.
しかも今シージがないアストラリスが。アスト今ね CSGO がマジで強い。ずっと言ってんだけど、アストの CSGO 部も好きなのよ。
that are playing on catwalk. Well, there's only one, and it's Newers. He's been the first to die for OXG a worrying amount of time, and despite the way that this half has gone for them, Soniqs have struck gold 4 of the 6 rounds well before OXG's been able to answer back. Still, they haven't won a single round that they have drawn first blood.
クラッチ多めのチームだから生き残りをレクチャーしてくるから。その前にアストラリスっていうチームは前が死にすぎなんだよ。突っ込みすぎて。ハングリーも変な癖つく逆に。
They might not have first blood, but OXG are able to equalize. They
大
lose
バタ
one
見え
and
てきたねこ
two,
れ。
in fact. Great serve.
いやまあ
This
悲
is
しい
incredible position upstairs on rafters. Managing to
ドリムさんニトロが。ドリムさんニトロがまだある。
these players from OXG back. Dream will stand against the hordes as Yaga is down below. Nitro Cell goes out. It's perfectly
いいニト
thrown.
ロ。
Now they just need to wait. As Yaga assumes the position at top
情報取れてるのもでかいなこれ。
Rafters still in control
あれ
of
これ
Soniqs, but
逆
suddenly
転ある。
2v2 with Rexon being injured as
これ情
well.
報が全部取れてる。
Walking in, nearsighted, but he doesn't care at all.
え、フナントどこにあるの？あ、そうか。
Rexon can't see either. This gives an opportunity for OXG to get real
あ、プラントやめた。
Yaga punished. Dream around the
う
corner.
おー、殲滅。まあでもプラント位置怪しかったからな。カバーができづらいんだよなあの位置。割れたすぐ右の入り口のところでプラントすると案外廊下だけロックすればいいように見えるけど金庫からの取り返しがサーバーの棚で結構広く見ないといけないからタイミングずれる可能性が結構あるからむずいんだよね意外にあそこ。
I can't tell you which team I think ought to be ahead. I think
ハングリーさん KD とレーティングはちゃんと EU 最下位らしい。くっさ。
teams are evenly matched. The desk said that they expect all 3 maps. I would not disagree with that assertion whatsoever.
朝は KD 全員割れてるのにクラッチ率は異常の伝説。
On Oregon, which was a spectacular map, that would be for these 2 teams to send the series
ウ
away.
ーノの場合はマジでスランプ入っちゃうとあのポジション立て直し効かないからな。
I worry that this is one of their
なんか
strongest
その
maps.
コミュニケーション面で貢献できてたとしてもむずいんだと思うよやっぱり IGL してる人って。チーム全体のことを考えすぎちゃうとマジで自分のプレーぐっちゃぐちゃになるからな。まあそれやっちゃうとプロとしてどうなのっていう指摘はあるかもしれないけど。
But as you mentioned, Soniqs they get defense
む
twice.
ずいと思う。
So looking at the numbers,
ドリノさん定番のクレーム。
are in the more favorable position. It can be hard to kind of, you know, change things off. You go into OT, just play like 6 attacking rounds. All of a sudden, it's a different kind of play style and mindset you gotta put yourself into as a player. Your win conditions change. You gotta figure out, okay, what were our good bomb sets again? Where did we win? What attacks did they do? What did we do? And just kind of fine tune in those things for overtime. Make it perfect. No XG, they're going for the same exact clear. The EMP above clears out the protection around the AKs. The nade follows through, destroys the shield. There again, they're setting up.
そう考えると IGL で最強のリケ。まあ IGL で最強リケだと思うよ。新世代だよなあいつマジで。
The hatch openings, the utility clear, so that when they get that situation happening, they're in the best position possible. But to be in the best position possible, they need everybody alive. And Dream, he doesn't make the cut. He gets picked off early in this round. You see Soniqs trying to play practice, but he gets punished immediately by Fox save.
いやでも平面組がかかってくれてる。いやこピッシュがかなり重要。いやナイスカバー。いや今無理せず引いたの偉いな。お前誰だレクゼンか。めちゃくちゃ偉いな。あポジション入り直してる。今フォックスそれは分かった。絶望。絶望のブルームシェル。
On your follow, your stamina, your endurance. You half a third. Very well.
And I know that players will talk about how even just playing a single best of one can be very mentally taxing. Best of 3, I'd imagine, is even more so. OXG strikes first in a very crucial round on Soniqs map.
今のはマジで典型的な守りさ
Down
れ
goes
た
the
よ
Ash. Down goes the breaches that come with
あ、い
it.
た
Soniqs are gonna burst into the bomb site through
Ah.
dirt tunnel. Geo doesn't survive. Neither does Rexon.
Ah.
This is a third rush strat that we've seen so far in this matchup. None of them have worked. Gunner's in a 1v5 and there hasn't been a single scratch to
DK フレ
OXG.
ックスだねオペレーターいろいろ取ってめちゃくちゃ広げてる
Position given away by one of those proximity alarms. He takes down Newers. Looking for another.
あれ
Find it on
あ
the
一瞬あるかなと思った
his exit.
Pressure.
まあでもここでこのタグを取りなんかオーバータイムでラッシュ取るチームってさやっぱ増えるよねどうしても選択肢が減ってるからだろうな状況的に
All the way back. Gio's been around for eternity. He played on Xbox. I mean, Xbox didn't even exist as a supported pro league for an overwhelming majority of people who've played this game. I mean, I think when the Xbox Pro League ended up being closed down, the player numbers on Steam charts, which are always an imperfect measurement, I think the game was only at like 20 or 30,000 people at absolute most. Most people, most new fans would probably be surprised to know that there was even a console pro league. Obviously, it's nice to see console players getting their time in the sun. Jinxie playing on console is inarguably
なんか Xbox がサポートしてた時のプロリーグの話してるのかなって今一瞬思った英語を勉強したい俺としては
But point remains. The
頑張っ
fact
て
that
聞き取
Gio
って
played on Xbox way back in the
77
day.
か
Oh,
お
dinosaur
お
by Rainbow Six terms.
ヨガいい射線の仕方
One kill for each,
Are
but Soniqs ultimately come out ahead as we hit the
Oh, I'm not
exact
doing it.
halfway point of the round, and the defense holding true. This is a defender-sided map so far. Does not surprise me one bit to see them doing the damage they've done, and it's the
CS 盛り上がってる
Thermite combo off of the board for OXG.
俺はなんか CS 組が昔いてそこの出身がどうのこうのみたいな話かなと思って全然わかりませんで
It's
し
a
た
final round, so you have to win it. And there's no easy way to problem solve this. You have to kind of hope that the enemy makes a mistake or two. You win your individual gunfights. This night, for example, had that killed Citizen. You're in the 3 versus 3.
ここで
But
キル
instead,
拾えなかったら
no,
き
it
つい
doesn't do
ね
a single point of damage. Orgia forced to
Penguin
walk
も
up
同
the
じこと言って
staircase, jump in the window, walk through the Rooney gate, and do these really unsexy gunfights and somehow try and win
い
them
や
as
この
well.
対策がやっぱ必要なのよ
It's not just unsexy gunfights. It's not even about gunfights at all. Sometimes it's about the utility and gadgetry work. Foxay's attempt poke a hole into the defense of that bathroom wall, thwarted by the nade
ディフュ
tossed
ーザーが
out.
さ変なとこに落ちてんだよ
No impacts
物理
remaining.
ハッチダイブ多分見られたんだ
No
なアレ
songs
クゼ
remaining either. This is just going to be pure bloodshed.
でそのクロス車線に対してレクゼンがバッチリで合わせたんじゃないか
He
な
used to go by the name Sleepy
時
Geo.
間がなさすぎるし E ビライで全部見られてる
That's
強
as
フォック
accurate
ス
as ever. A pick for OXG. They keep walking in. They're under watch from the evil eye. Gunner
My.
has so many bullets. He doesn't need to be involved. It's the rest of
ガンナも
Soniqs
今
who
やられ
do.
ないギリギリのところでピークしてたもんな今のはマジでやられないこと相手がワイドピークするのが一番ソニックスにとっては有利な状況だったからね行きましょう
Round. So OXG are
Sounds
running
like
around somewhat blind on this map.
あれ右
Or
側
I
のスコア
see
が入ってない
Fish and Yaw
珍
taking
し
a
い
ton of damage early in this round.
マエストロってやっぱ
I feel
難
like you
しく
haven't
なっ
paid
たよ
enough
ね
attention to the Monty.
機動力がないカメラがやっぱりどうしても優先順位低くなるよね
Just for you to completely lose your mind.
まあでもだからといって何か調整しろとは思わないけど十分強いし
Final map. This can be a Monty round, Monty game. Love it. Geo is, you know, there's those and those Monty players, right? There are the passive ones that give intel, they always extend out, and then the ones that will ADS drop shot you 360 no scope, whichever, just get kills. Geo is very much sleepy Geo. Walks around, gets some intel, yellow pings, and the young boys behind him will do the work.
Was very accurate.
やっぱグリックスはアタッカー目のピックしてくるねシーズンはマップによってやっぱだいぶ変わるなっていう
Being pushed back ever so slightly. Down goes Citizen.
後続のシ
So
ーズン
even
飛
though
ばした
Geo is there, he might be a bullet magnet, but not necessarily a nitro magnet.
いやこれ現地がき
Now
ち
he
い
will toil over in trophy. And he gives some pings as he sees OXG maneuvering
でも
through
上
the
からの
same
車
bomb
線が
site
敷けて
over
ない
by
からあ
kitchen
る
into
程度
trophy
きっち
into
り
the
使えてるな
hallway. There's a smorgasbord of OXG players within reach. 30 seconds to go, and there's Geo gone from the board. Very well played by Foxay. Surrenders to Fuser 2. Foxay gets siege timinged on the stairs inside a trophy. SQ clamping down on the peripheries of this bomb site. Dream still playing from above, looking for a potential retake.
CG の希望あれだね。
These kills don't line up. They're in serious
NA
trouble.
多めやな。
Grixer picking off one.
あー、リテイクしたけど噛み合わなかったのか。
Precarious position to drop on down Yaga and Dream. Now going for the stairs.
し
Dream
かも
over
ご
by the
丁寧に
hatch.
勇姿残してるし。
Yaga was magnificent in game number 1. There goes Dream, and the lockout from SQ is perfect. The
ヨガ
post
の合わせも割ってたけ
goes
どな。
as you'd expect it to.
ガンナーの
Soniqs
反
get
応の方が
all
早
three
かった。
picks once the defuse.
They played it, but they who's about Monty round for a short. Very crucial for this bar bomb set attack. You can easily clear out library with that in that default corner next to the between the double and single window, and that's a problem. You don't want to burn a ton of flashbangs or grenades always. Sometimes just try and get a single fire in there. Guarantee clear it. Don't need pinpoint accuracy like with a grenade. But we know, so does Soniqs now.
ガンナーも
They're
ちょ
not
いサポ
playing
ート
that
やってる
corner
よね。
because
こ
they
こで
too
グリック
fear
さ、
perhaps a
生
Gav's
で
out.
マップによってなんかファーストアタックが変わってるイメージある。
It's been quite steady so far. He hasn't been
まあで
dominating
もピ
games.
ックがそうなってるよだけ
Really
で
been present on specific sites, but I
ことはあん
like
ま
the
関係ないかもしれ
application,
ないけどね。
the way teams use
シーズン
him.
も別に
Especially on this
嫌
side
な
in
とったからって1
particular,
で動く
very
わけじゃな
common
い
for
し。
those fire arrows to
今
go
手
into
動
the
に変わって
corners
る
you
もん。
talked about. That's what the magnets are there for. And some teams, despite it being a what should be a simple lineup, still struggle to get those arrows in the right place. Now, there's nobody from OXG in that particular spot, as you mentioned. We're going to play a little bit farther back.
この位置の騎馬バリは強いよね。
We call this a full
これラ
court
ペリング
press,
して
as
も
there's two
棚の
separate
上から
players from OXG
小部屋抜
sitting
けな
by
くなった
that
んだ。
library doorway, watching the window. That Kiba barrier was thrown out by Yaga, which will prevent vision for Soniqs. If they go to vault in, there's a kill hole beneath them. Unsure of at the moment whether
ちょっと
somebody
Soniqs
from OXG is actively holding that, but
立て
it will
直しして
give
るイ
some
メージだ。
trepidation to Soniqs. Either way, another nade will now go in as Dream gets hit by an
EU
air
にいた
jab,
時から
knocked
動き
over.
結構変わ
Citizen
った感
dies
じだね。あ、
first.
シチズンだってもう1で突っ込んでいく役割ばっかやってたもん。
Both teams
まあでも
drawing blood
G2 の
at
晩
this
年だけど
moment.
ね。
3v3, but might as well be less as Gio's bleeding out. Looks retrievable.
いやこれリバイブできんじゃな
All
い？
it will take is Gunner getting him back up from the dead.
これリバイブできたら話変わる。
Blood
タクティカ
leading
ルクロ
to
スボウ
that
残って
bar
るからね。
back that is spotted by Dream. But he's patient for now.
ちょっとプラントの位置が
50
むず
seconds.
いか
Action could
ら
happen
な。
at a moment's notice, Nick.
中間回も
Yeah,
取
I
れてな
mean,
いからな。
the issues diffuse, right? Gotta pick it up somehow, but Vert is now working against you, and Gunner just risks
ガンナ
it all.
魂のディフューザーダッシュ。
Now,
いやでもこれタクティカルクロスボウでうまく車線切ってくれれば。あ、上構えに来た。うまい。い
By Gunner, he had a strong start in map number 1 before cooling off. Now amidst the smoke.
やそれ上からウォーデンでも見えないぞ1。
In terms of objective play, that case looking to get planted. Grix are holding from above, just cutting right through OXG. But their X
あるある
factor,
全然ある全然ある。
has been
このプラントにしたと
sensational
大窓から見るのできないから。
onto the case. Grix are following up,
うわー
engaging,
グリクサ
Grixer spray
その球
wins
数が
out.
少ない銃でよくさばいたな。
Soniqs,
うまっ。
2 in a row. Perfect through these 2 rounds on attack.
then the what? We're playing.
結構今命運を分ける。
They need
もう多分あんまり考えてなくてそっちから顔出したんだったら次この位置に体置くだろうっていうので決め打ったら入った
Kind of balked when Jacob on the desk was like, it feels like we're going to get a 2-0 here because my thought process was the opposite. Well, OXG kept it really, really close on
最
map
近ライ
number
オン
1.
マックスマン使ってる人多い
And now we're going to their map. There should be favorable conditions for OXG to prevail and then send us to a third map. We even talked about it in the
危
preamble.
ねシズン
But with the way that Sonic
シズン
has
今
been
パニ
playing
ックで
so
スキル出した
far,
ぞ
lends a lot of credibility to the things that Jacob said. I don't want anybody thinking that this is me smack talking Jacob. Not at all. People also need to realize that there are lots of times where I will say
こ
something
こはでもシズン1の動
pretending
き
to be oblivious so that you can step up and fill everybody in. Do I know the answer to the question? A lot of times, yes. You, the viewer,
ガ
might
ンナーが
not.
このマップ
It
効い
allows
て
you
る
to
気
be
が
the
する
expert. Jacob can take a conflicting viewpoint so that Jesse and Laxing can riff off of it. That's the signs of a good desk host, is to get the most out of your analysts. Speaking of analysts, when I was talking about Gio in the previous
あ
round, I got a
あの
message from
銃
Laxing.
弾数多いやつか
It said, and I quote,
AK の
Gio
方
played
か
with me, and this part is
ARX
in
やな
all caps, and I would like to stress this was in all caps. And he
難
was
し
a
い方
little
ね
cutie pie. Now, this could also apply to Foxay, I guess, because technically he was also Laxing's teammate, but either way,
だから
I'm
ばらまい
choosing
てた
it
の
to be Gio. Because that's who we spent the most time talking about.
一瞬どっち使ってるか分かんなくなる。
Through this round, and here's the action.
いやーでもこれオキシ戦い方きついぞ。
Oxygen, in fact, trying to
リテイク
rip away
重視だな。
control of the top floor that Soniqs thought they had.
まあ人数取
Gunner
っ
and
たし、フ
Citizen
ォ
are
ックさん
doomed.
戻れそうだけど。
OXG with an advantage with just a minute to go.
Really good play there, having two flankers work together, and it was a bit of a surprise from Gunner. He killed the first member of Fish, sure, but the second member of Foxy shut him down for 1-1 trade. Surprised that Munchie's not in these rounds, so this is like a very passive Munchie from Geo here in these rounds.
Grixer's just sitting in the sight. What?
Good job.
Opening around
Good job.
a shot. Excellently done by Grixer.
30秒だからまだあるな。
Cell tears some of the life away from Geo.
さすがに。
It's going to leave Geo.
さすがのドリームさんやったな。
That you as a Monty want to find yourself in, especially with the diffuser.
When it's three playing bombs.
Similar path on the main floor. Ball. Garage. Just bedroom.
I was gonna say you're the.
I had the wrong floor. I had bottom floor when it was top floor. It was my brain not working.
Yeah, we get to see the basement.
That's correct. That's what I meant to say.
今優秀だと聞こえたんじゃないだよね。
I think so.
わかんないやらかした。
The overarching point was that upstairs bomb site is seen with frequency. We go through a weird flow with Chalet where there was a period of time, and I like to reference it because when this map first came out, the bottom floor bomb site was seen quite extensively alongside Bar Gaming, and then there was a period of time, I think it was about a year ago, but things all tend to blur together, where teams were allergic to going downstairs. And again, as we try to talk to these teams about, the reasoning for it was, well, once you get garage open, which is relatively easy, it becomes almost impossible to defend. Speaking of defending, there's a lot of success from OXG. A minute and 15 seconds have gone by in this round, and SQ have lost 3 players. OXG have lost none.
もうこれは全然キババリア壊せてないんだ
They're
ったら
still
無理だ。
defending upstairs, similarly as we saw before inside the library. Soniqs had a lot of tools at their disposal last time to tackle this problem. Now they just have what is brought by an
い
Ash
や
and a
これは分
Thermite.
かってても勝負できんよ。
Not exactly the two operators that
せいぜい
you
ロ
want
ック
to
だな。
push
ロ
out
ッ
in
ク
a
でグリクサー
zombie.
の詰め
Deal
待
with
ち
those
だ
keeper
な。
barriers, and what else may be in front of you?
Yeah, that's a tough task, and I mean the issue is it's so hard to clear library against the Asami, and they kind of relied on Gunnar walk up the fireplace staircase, just getting that initial kill, but he lost the individual gunfight, and that puts his teammates in this awkward position. They finally clear out York on the Asami, but that's as far off the bomb site as humanly possible. That's library on a kitchen defense. You still got office and master bedroom, solarium above, and the bomb site itself beneath all of that to deal with. And you have 2 members. 45 seconds, and as you can tell here, they don't know what is and what isn't clear. They're gonna have to drive peek away from the top floor and somehow find the bomb site afterwards.
Talking about office being one of the focal points.
絶望のグーマイン。
Grixer attempting
時間が
to
なさ
get
すぎる。
through as Geo by Piano finds a goo mine, slowing him down. Goo mines might be easier to spot, but if you're preoccupied with where your opponents might be and you're worried about the time, you're not exactly going to be looking down. There goes Geo. Grixer now in a 1v4, and it's finished off by Fox. Around.
You know, you have to be just whenever
2-2
reach the gold. Again, same similar
その前で
setup
どうや
from
って削ったかが映
OXG,
って
and
ないね。なん
Soniqs
とも言えない。
currently are looking to make it a similar approach from the same direction at least, but they have to change up their approach. This time they got the floor to deal with keeper barriers. They got Gar on the lane to really initiate a push here, but it comes down to your entries. Are you going to win out and be successful in your gunfights and synergy together, or you will just simply fall?
Great questions. And with the way these two teams have played, I mean, we've had a variety of questions. Saw that nade go in. It appeared to be grabbed by a magnet, but Citizen ultimately getting that first pick. It's tremendous for Soniqs, though. First blood has not been as pivotal in this matchup between the teams as you would come to expect. It's bucking the trend that we know when the team that gets that first pick almost certainly goes on to win the round. Action looks like it might break out at any point, so I'll stop myself from going too deep into the numbers, especially referencing that first map. Soniqs might have gotten a pick inside a library, but there's hesitation as to what they want to do next. Citizen waiting, Gunner waiting. Do they not have drones to follow up on it?
Plenty of drones, but there it is. It's gonna stop things off.
Citizen marching on in. He gets flashed, but
うわーいいか追い込み保険が効いてたねカバーライン潰す ピッシュの位置が噛み合わなかったな中間階にいて今のカバーラインの1枚に入れたらちょっと話は変わってたかもしれない
Rexon's been damaged, but other than that, Soniqs doing relatively okay. That is until Citizen dies. The hands of Newers will vacate the premises. He doesn't want to be too deep in the bomb site. He knows that with the final 40 seconds to go, SQ will translate and likely drop through those hatches. Newers has positioned himself to greet them. While the focus from Soniqs might be on that part of the map, there is a flank coming in. Fish has dropped. So flanking a flanker even. Rixer is ready for it. 417 hits like a truck. Newers will need to clutch out. Diffuser going down. Gio will have 3 of his teammates watching for him. Newers hits the main lobby as his first entry point. He can't get the pick.
いや今は中間階の潰し綺麗だったね風見が最初にフラグで落ちちゃったのが結構オキシゲンとしては誤算だったと思うなあれでもう一回車線切り直してポジションし直しリポジショニングができなかったから
Let's say Clubhouse-like bomb site where
意外に投げ物に対してあんまりオキシゲン耐性してこなかったりあそこ1枚抜くんだってことは結構クラブハウスが続いていくから要は怒りのカウンターまたここでもここ結局勝負したんでしょ
First pick. And then a trade. Oh, XG. Off of the clock. Gunner will come to blows. Continues to march forward. Looks like OXG is going to want to retake blue. Gunner's toiling in that area. Diffuser is down by connector. Need to be retrieved by Soniqs, but they're worried about where these OXG players are going to come from. OXG's been boxed out of the bomb site. This is going to be a retake setup. One of the players looking to retake. Citizen, there's the drop from OXG. But simply overpowered.
You gotta talk about Gunner. It looks like he's
にゃんこゲームチャンネルさんと
into wine cellar. Stop down enough. Soniqs, it's hard to find now when the video gets active. He's gonna try and kill drones, try and find players, do some damage. He's got 2 impacts and pocket to work with for rotations. He's going to be difficult to catch for OXG. And there's no real direct operator right now that screams, oh, we want to find Gunner. There's no Jackal, for example. There's no Blitz on Monty. Dokebee's banned. OXG's going for a relatively conventional utility lineup, which is going to have a hard time to deal with Gunner.
確かに結構ヌアーズもあれだよねセーターさんと同じぐらいちょっとうるさかった
It's honestly a mixed bag for those opening duels. There was an abundance of trades as these teams kept it close. There is not a direct correlation necessarily to getting first blood and winning the round, though I will say that if Soniqs got first blood or traded back within about 10 seconds, they won the round. That was the exception was round number 3. So Soniqs can get on the board first. Things tend to look quite good, and I mean this round is not.
結構投げ物がこの試合鍵を握ってるよ、ね、意外にすんなり通る
You see OXG playing from outside the building right now, and that's not allowing Gunner to be proactive because he can't do anything about this. Big window repel, bathroom balcony, office balcony, solarium repel. Gunner can't kill anybody. As I say that, Citizen does it a step. It's a trade once again going in both ways.
Might not have been a draw on the very first pick, but it follows up shortly thereafter.
いやサンルーム取られてるから
still lurking over top of this bomb site. Lurking might be the wrong word for Citizen right now because he's just roaming. He's supported by Gunner. This is a more restrained style of offside play from Citizen as he's extended upwards over the kitchen site, now inside a bathroom.
今もコットで回せてるのかそうなのいや今2枚あったのにうまくシーズン抜けたねどの回したのかなちょっと見えなかった
Now it's Fox's turn.
いやシズンがもう獅子奮迅の2回制圧してるぞ。めっちゃ見てる範囲が広い。
30 seconds remaining, still one to go. Lots of noise, lots of destruction, but emphasis on the noise. It is really overwhelming playing around one of those things going off. Gives you good covering fire. And the pun as Fish jumps in, gets a kill on Trophy, but then is thwarted by a frost mat. Fox watching his train gets diffuser down. Fish still caught, ensnared, unable to do much. Dream gets diffuser down, but not before you can hear the telltale sounds of the K1A of Vigil.
そうだよね、上からしたらそれほどでもなかったよ。
Cannot secure Fish, but that's not the
あれでもこれ解除するとき上から両方とも見えるんだよ。
Falls off. Fox A pre-fire around the corner, nicely placed by OXG.
いやこれでもきついわ。
It's now up to Citizen.
さすがのシツさ
Drops
ん
in the
も。
lobby, looking one direction.
He had there. They didn't kill the. Finding doors. The areas defense.
なんか投げ物対策もうちょっとしたいね。
Is on attack. These colors are really throwing me for a looper.
I was saying when they were in defense.
No, I said OXG on defense because they are the color orange, which is usually the color of defense. But
あこれヘイトコントロールしてる。
this is going to be a fast take. OXG sprinting on in. Rex didn't seem to be ready for that. Nuance dies, but it's a trade right back.
あれ
Fish not engaging that EE1D in the latter part of the push. If it was off cooldown, it would be unknown to us. Now to a 3v3.
グリッチは今勝負しなくてよかったんじゃない？
This same tempo. Yaga
通用ヨガ
one player from blue.
全部ヨガがエイムで解決してる。
Standing for Soniqs. There's only a minute
力いずバー来たぞ。
played out in this round. Citizen throwing the nitro cell gets the pick. That's also diffuser too. Citizen could easily win this one.
さすがのシティさんでも
Back up.
よろしくないね。だって今エイムで崩されてるだけだもんな。まあでも褒めるべきオキシゲンの速さだな。あそこまで速いとカバーが間に合ってないわよ。
That corner of library, which can very easily be naded or flushed out by a fire arrow. If you don't have a magnet in there, Geo, who is playing in that particular part of the map, might not be long for this earth.
Yeah, it's a fine balance. Stick around for long enough to bring utility, but don't stick around for too long to stay dive. He drops, takes a time. Okay,
そうだよな、今その位置だったら1階にも炎展開してるよな。案の定。
That's really it. Honestly, pretty good utility use.
いや苦しいね、ソニックス。 苛烈なオキシゲンの攻撃止めれてね。
They do damage to the citizen as well. The question now is, are they going to continue their attack on library or kind of rotate around? Because right now they are indeed rotating. They're gonna go towards that master bedroom office side, perhaps. They know the library corner is clear, but unless somebody's on the balcony of library, they could just retake that position from the side of Soniqs.
入ってないと思うよ。
Half-down has been
い
burned
つ
away
ぞや
already
な
in
んか
terms of
ヒ
the
アの
timer.
時間が長くなっている。
So
それ
the
だいぶ
attack's
シーズン
gotta
的
be
に前だよね。
Geo did burn the T4 earlier on, so can't do any vertical destruction onto office now. That's gonna favor the attack, of course, as it'll be a little bit safer in this round.
Look at the spread by OXG. They're all over the map, and none of them seemingly
いや生き残るのが大事シ
inside
ーズ
for
ン
the
は。
moment.
F ノート付け替えられるから。
It's a good lockout from Soniqs. You've
ドリームさん
seen
サンルームからここ
reduced
でエントリー。
to Ash at this point. And I
いや
don't mean
こ
the
れ
operator.
完全にこっちがクリア判断だぞ。
Be completely gone. Still got a gun in hand. First,
うわシオが間に合うんじゃない
shots leading up towards
シーズンよくその HP 耐えたな。
shrugging them off. Fish dies.
フィッシュだから多分大丸だな。
Pick number 1, pick number 2 as well as they secure the remainder of Newers.
まずい。
Now Geo on
完全に
above
崩壊した。
takes down the Habana. There goes diffuser on the ground. Yaga and Fox A to work together. Yaga was in a similar position with Dream once before. Fox A
JB がインビの会場を変えてくれって投げてる。なんで？
I'll wait. Good trigger
サンパウロだっ
disappointment,
け？
then walks right into Grixer as Yaga drops. And it might as well be suicide.
What? Now, what's that?
なんだ
They
今
either
シーズンのカメラ目線。
it's a little bit puzzling, maybe indecisive. Foxy's hand gesture. What they want to do going to him game example.
You.
ん？テックイシュ。
And is now drinking some sort of orange timeout that was just
They close together a situation from the side of Soniqs here. We're just gonna go absolutely crazy because OXG they do look like they're having some troubles problem solving on the early rounds. We don't surrender those early kills. Rex will be injured. Soniqs might be good for wear in these rounds. Because OXG, like we keep saying, their early game is relatively weak. They struggle getting
す
open
げえ
first
ドローン回って
picks.
きた
But in this round, it's pretty much guaranteed unless good old Rexon can crawl very far away very quickly. But he cannot. Oh man. Get
The
sacked
Twitch
to
drone
death.
kill is about as rare in the year 2023 as you can expect. There was a period of time where they used to do 10 damage and you used to have a relatively unlimited amount and you could easily tase somebody in the prep phase and kill them if you really had enough patience.
Yep.
Not the case anymore with changes to the Twitch drone. The fact that Rexon was downed early and then finished off by Foxay's drone is
まあでも
quite
地
the
下のエン
callback.
トリー
I
はとりあえ
appreciate
ず
it
開けと
very
けみたいな
much.
感じだからなあれ
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
飛び出した
Yeah, Twitch to one of the attackers has been changed a ton of the years.
これ地下にいるぞっていう
throwback
存
here,
在
right?
感、俺に時間を使えっていう
Twitch's drone
存在感アピールだ
back in the day
な
couldn't jump. That was a patch that was added later in like year 2 of the game or something like that, or late year 1 maybe, that allowed it to jump. So you would get stuck, especially in Chalet, on these stupid areas where there's just like a little lip on the street outside, and you had to run outside the building, pick up the drone. It was frustrating.
You remember there was a pro named Dave who used to play on that Bittersweet roster way back in the day. Played on SSG for a brief period of time as well.
ハーマー
He
パネルは
actually
超有
did,
名
I think it was the SI Quals casting earlier this year. And when we were spectating somebody on the Twitch and the Twitch drone jumped, all you could hear is, wait, it can jump now? Just underscores the surprise of somebody who hasn't been around for a while. Well, we were talking about the jumping capabilities of Twitch's favorite little pest. Oxygen have been wiping the floor with SQ. Gio is in a 1v5. He takes down Dream.
It's pretty living
デッドヒートやん
his career, so he's very familiar with that and can probably replace Gunnar one-to-one in that position. What in the...
なんかシーズンがなんか実験してた
That's the C4 that goes all the way outside to the garage store, and it
Oh,
actually
Nuazi だから若干危なかった
almost killed... Look at this! It almost killed Newers! That's beautiful.
You'll love to see these lineups.
奇跡のような
Wrong,
爆風
but
の
after
外に
talking about the site rotation all the way back, the first 3 rounds, and I was incorrect. I was looking down instead of up. Bedroom's only been played 1 time, at least by my notes.
Yes,
So,
yes.
so far, it's been kitchen, garage,
結構
bar,
武器多用する
kitchen,
ね
garage. This half at least.
あ
That's
ー
not
で
talking
も
about
こ
the
の
first
階
half.
段の位置だな
That's
あ
just
のは
so
気
far
づ
what
い
we've
て
seen out of Soniqs. Which again,
エクゼン
lends
は
credibility to when you
気
said
づい
only
て
that
るか
bar
な
bomb
あ
site
今
was
気
still
づいた
locked.
いいねグリちゃんがちゃんと情報を
Unsuccessful
取ってあ
here,
げ
and
る
OXG moves to match point. Every single site will be available for Soniqs. At which point,
これで
you
ちょ
know,
っとこっ
you
ち
have
の
the
ワイン
attacker
セラ
repick
進
for
行は
OXG to tailor their setup. and approach
一
it the
工夫
right
しない
way.
といけ
God,
なくなっ
remember
た
the
から
days when you only could swap a
するか
single operator? Remember the days when you couldn't even do that?
Oh yeah, we've gone through that a couple of times, yeah. Good old days. I mean, attackers right now can guarantee the perfect optimal lineup, granted they get intel and prep trades, right? So it's this kind of trade-off. Use your drones, get intel, pick the right position. OXG with a
上のレ
very
ックゼン
strong
の
round
家が
here
野放しにするとだいぶきつ
can
いと思
break
う
it despite having the attacker repick, right? They get what they want for operator picks, but now they need the map control to follow up. I like that vertical using Foxay. You take top floor to get access to the first floor, forcing those roamers back to Gunner, and he swings! No need for that.
Need to do that, son.
初戦取るの
Could have waited. Fish first pick. Newer's also on the board. OXG again just gunning down Soniqs. Things falling apart very quickly for the other team in teal, and now
あらららら
it
ら
could be
ら
flawed.
Oh,
完全に崩された
came
ね
out. Well, then they get that 4-2. Oh, and I don't blame the
当
guy.
たりどころ見
He
出
is
しきれ
putting up
ず
some serious numbers the last couple of playdays in the NAL. 13 kills to his name currently right now. And the big aspect of Twitch is that you're throwing those switch codes early on, and you kill the default cameras in Fireplace and Blue Staircase and West Main, the ones that you can't always get to that quickly. And the defenders, you see it right here, they're gonna be running blind. If somebody's sitting on default cams, they're gonna go, oh, can't see this area, can't see this area. I guess we don't know what's going on. Oh, Citizen
強っ
gets shut down. Almost
今
gets
の
destroyed.
ピッシュの駆け引きうまいね
Sniper's gadgets will continue,
アッ
Nick.
シュだから
but
できる技だろう
yeah, Soniqs being on the wrong side again. Again. Things going from bad to worse. OXG picking up the pieces on what is one of the rare attacker-sided maps that you and I have casted so far this stage. It seems like every single map we go to is always decided 4-2 or 5-1 by the defense. Now and then you'll have the rare 3-3. But attacker-sided? I don't see that all that often.
ようやられんかったな、ジオ
Might have
今。
missed a golden opportunity to eliminate Geo and give the advantage to OXG an even greater opening.
レッ
Snowball
ドドット
towards
A、俺
inevitable
も嫌いじゃないけ
victory.
ど、やっぱりちょっと縁が大きすぎるな。
Fox A shot away at the window though. There's still some
Gana
life in
yok çok
Soniqs
sana.
as they equalize with half the round to go.
Yeah, that kill that Yawk just missed on Geo definitely sucks.
ガン
Now
ナーね、
they
結構
lose
銃によって
Fox A
ス
and
コープ変え
Fish
てると
one
思う。
health
レッ
as
ドドット B
well.
もさっき使ってたもん。
Because what looks like OXG being in a very strong position, well, it's kind of been neutralized and reset. They're in a decent position, but they haven't even dealt with the hardest part about this entire attack yet. That hold upstairs, the top blue mezzanine library position, that's the most difficult part of the round. That's where their dreams will either, come to fruition, or they will straight up just die. Because if you don't get top floor control, you won't get bomb site control. They still got 4 players upright. Geo individual could look for a flank or try and go back and help the bomb site. By the way, OHC's gotta strike first. Oh, again.
Yaga's just missing out on these chances
結
to
構ガンナー
help
ギリギリの車
give
線管理
his
してる。
team enough gas to get to the finish line. Not that OXG's really needed those opportunities, but there
2
we
人いたの
go.
分かってなかった。
Taking down Dream. There's another to follow. SQ might have surrendered that first pick. Missed opportunities by Yaga might come back to haunt him. To salvage the round is Newers, but got
2試合、2マップ続けてオーバータイム。
Zach starting.
熱いね、この両チーム。
is excellent. We often look at the way that OT can vary from the actual ebb and flow of the map. Prior to that, regulation on the first map of Clubhouse was very defender-sided. Overtime followed the exact same pattern. Nothing that we have seen over the previous 12 rounds would lead me to believe that the defense have any upper hand whatsoever, but hey,
出た、ジオの
as good a time as ever for
ビジュアル遊
Soniqs
撃。
to start things off well.
さっき
Newers
から
is
仕掛けてる。
removed. Newers has been an afterthought for OXG in this best of 3 so far. It's a terrible time for somebody who's been heralded as an incredibly good, mechanically skilled player. Not having his ability as a Yana for 2 minutes, not having his gun skill available for multiple maps, it's not going to help OXG's chances at all.
No. One small note here that Soniqs have done the last couple rounds, they're putting Geo on the vigil roam instead to give Gunner a quote-unquote anchor position, but it's the Asami. They're putting Gunner in the front lines by making him that library holder. So instead of running around and not finding gunfights because OXG are going for direct attacks, they're putting Gunner in the middle of those direct attacks, making the direct attacks more difficult. It's actually genius from them, and it shows the depth and the versatility from this roster. Being able to flex around the various roles. One of the benefits of Geo being an old dog, so to speak, is that he can play probably any role in the game to decent success. He'll just go vigil, he'll roam, he'll get the job done. OXG, they're completely boxed out. Gun on the Asami cannot be cleaned off this position.
Oh,
イージー時代に戻れなかった。
too soon here.
ただ時間はかかってんだよ。
But Yaga's ability to aim around those Kiba barriers was not very good on the previous round. He seems to have corrected some of
いや、
those
エリアどこも取れてないわ。
inaccuracies.
2階の逆エリアにやっとエントリーできたってだけだ。
Taking off Geo, the
重
vigil
要な
that
エ
he
リ
said
ア
was
はほぼ
roaming,
取
taking
れて
Gunner's
ない。
place. That's Yaga
中
looking
間階と
inside
廊
the
下全然取れ
lobby.
てないもんね。
Hate to sing the praises of one player over and over and over, often to the detriment of the rest of his team. But
この展開
Yaga
方して
has
るの壊せな
really
いじゃん。
been very strong. But Fish also assembling a deceptively good record so far on this map and quietly doing so. Dream goes down. This is a player that you know can take over a game, but speak of his name and now he's gone. Fish removed. It's Yaga and Fox in a 2v3, but Yaga's got the kills so far for
いや、ヨガのポジショ
OXG.
ンキープがむずいそれ。
Got a lineup on library stairs, but also a target inside a bar. Cannot seem to get it done. Soniqs will go on a series point with the
さ
final
っき
kill
からこ
on
の
the
ポイント
Fox
攻めきれな
A.
いの、オキシゲン。
Citizen around guaranteed
まあ、オ
really
キシ
strong
って
players
さ、
in
今
very
日クラブ
crucial
ハウスで1回
positions
ぐらい速攻やったけ
because
ど、
of
基本的に速攻の
not
タッカーあんま
finding
取らない
success
よ
there.
ね。
But now it gives Sonic some stability in this round. They still got a drone. They gotta get those flank drones set up to get the network going. But Geo can walk in with confidence and again just lead his teammates forward
バー
and
ゴ
allow
ラ
them
ク
to
は完
shine.
全にソニックス側が1個前のラウンドでほぼパーフェクトを取った時の感触を完全に感じ取ってって感じだったな。
Huge success on.
もうこれはバーゴラクでしょ。オーバータイム入って守るのはって感じだったな。
Oxygen will need to win 2 rounds in a row.
2
They
回
have the
か。
unfavorable side statistically on defense, but will be in a relatively comfortable
ここ勝てば
position
4分の3だからな
We need
メジャー行ける確
15
率
rounds across these
こ
two
の一
maps.
勝の重みでかい
These
ぞ
have not been short affairs so far. We started map number 1 over 2 hours ago at this point, and there still might be another whole map to go. This billing has definitely lived up to what the desk had talked about. Two very evenly matched teams on the razor's edge of most rounds.
うわーいいロック入っ
Oh
てる
no. Oh no.
Crucial kill here. Who gets it?
Oh, Citizen missing out. Yaga on the board first. Goodbye to Gunner. Tied with Grixer for most kills on the team. Citizen gets away without that pick, but now he could close in on Foxay through lobby. They both miss each other. They're like two ships in the night. Neither see.
まずいよ
Foxay so
モンタのショッ
lucky
ト
on
で
that one.
取れ
Will now confront
あれ
Monty
いやーよく取れた
looking the
お
wrong
互い
way
に
for Citizen. Finally
お互いに決めショットが
finishing off the dish. He's looked for that kill much earlier on. Now it's Citizen being guided in by the Monty. Foxay trying his best, gunning down Geo. Who's next in line? There's Grixer getting on the board. Citizen still in the same position. Tussling with Foxay is now dropped, so Citizen will need to reassess that position. A nade goes in, but we'll soon find that there's nobody there. So Foxay wants a second servant swinging into his demise. Soniqs with the advantage with 30 seconds left to
いや
go.
タラレバだけどこれフォックス上がる必要なかったな
There's ever a time for
待て
Newers
ばよ
to
かっ
heat
た
up,
純粋に
get on the board, prove his worth in this particular matchup.
Oh!
It's now, especially with Yaga in the ground, but Newers can't get it done. A 2-0 victory for Soniqs as they steal
MENA の結果見てない
away from them. Takes OT.
すれ違う恋人同士出たな
Ultimately in this contest, Soniqs
いや今のフォックスはね上がる必要なかったんだよな
Zero awaits them.
どっちかっていうとライン崩されてなかったからまあ時間かかるけど下がってサンルームが多分もう来てないっていうのも分かったからサンルーム側から上がり直してで中固めた方がまあたらればだけどねな気がするなそうだよねクラブハウスオレゴンもういいだろういい加減もうつまんねえマップが2つ入ってるぞ
Day that I would say
You know, striking the upper band phase, very normal stuff. We have not seen Dokumi being able to be played at all today so far. We spent in the first two maps, and the only two maps in OHT Soniqs earlier, and the first map right now between WildCard and SSG. Asami, of course, Ying, Valkyrie, we know this tale as old as time. They are just incredibly strong on Clubhouse and most maps to be fair, which is why they're all kind of leading the charges of ban rate and also pick rate when they're then not banned.
俺もマジで見てて
SSG in SSG fashion looks like they have a semi-pseudo roam clear because like SSG basement roam, right?
膠
Classic
着しまく
throwback.
ってた時代に戻ってた感じしかないんだよ
Sure,
な
Forest is on castle, but all 5 members are actually downstairs.
そう思う。
There's no mute Mossy shenanigans trying to, you know, deceive the attackers as to, oh, maybe there's a room at top floor. There's not. It's going to be a big bunker style defense, mirror window on that church wall and into blue to lock things out. It's up to WildCard here. On the opening round, you know, be on the attack. You gotta problem solve and do everything by the book in a good and quick way, because if you take too long, don't have time to work with. Do it too
海
quickly.
外カフェ
Might
ヘイ
lose
ト
favor
高
in the
いんだ
process.
カフェ面白いじゃんまだ
Playing that fine line. Making good pace so far though. Getting hatches, getting self-destruction, and just kind of hitting those ABCs.
すごいフルスの限界守り
It's just a minute to go. They're quiet. He's not really wagering anything just
欲
yet.
張った
Still, Fultz decides to go for the
それ
swing.
欲張ったよ上の車線空いてたじゃんだっ
Adams attempting to
て
open up that mirror with the Selmas tossed out. Not only is he successful with objective play, but is also successful with that first pick, cracking things open. Fultz, a tremendously skilled player. No smoke for the remaining push. SSG falling by the wayside now. WildCard's guns just too strong for them. Merc shepherding in the diffuser. The default plant spot in the back of church with the last two players from SSG.
あれクラブハウスでさリワークする時もあれなのか抜けずにそのまま入ったんだっけあれ
Hacker finds
気がつい
himself
た
in
ば
a
っかしかいないんだけど
1v2.
どういうこと
Things were going terribly for Space Station. And now Packer is the last one standing, but they have no intel. One of these two players from SSG will need to bait themselves out in order to get Packer to reveal his position. Playing by the door on Moto, J90 is certain it's the other way around. They have no idea. Packer looking out, waiting. He's caught off by the castle barricade. There's a pick. Timer running down the swing, and Packer wins it. Space Station gave you hope. Then WildCard took it away.
From SSG
いやパッカーもうすでに止まってないんだけど。
to make the because it's very lethal. When you got
やっぱワールドカードはマジで組閣がうまくいってるよな。
you know that when you gotta go, well,
あのマークがちゃんと機能してるもんな。マークしかもサッチャーでハードブリッジ持ってるじゃん。ハードブリッジじゃないわ。ディフューザー持ってるじゃん。嘘でしょマーク。マーク嘘だと言ってくれ。
I believe in terms of Rainbow Six, this would be referred to as Return to Monkey. Because we are going back in time to the very beginning. Like, I remember when we first learned that we could bandit trick. It was like the first time that primates learned that they could use sticks as tools.
Oh my god.
For those of you that don't know, that is a reference
ハード
to
ブリッジャー
2001 Space
が
Odyssey.
まあ一応いるのかハードブリッジングチャージ持ってんのか。
But it's just, it's
いやでも
now
大きく割れないと
bandit
だいぶ
tricking
き
seems
つい
as
ぞ。
primitive as using a stick as a tool, right? We have so many other options at our disposal that bandit tricking can be easily thwarted. You can juggle it with EMPs. You can use a Maverick. You can get below and bucket. There's a lot of counters that are present in the game now. And I mean, bandit tricking used to be really common years ago, but it's just not something you see anymore.
No, and because of that, some teams might struggle against it because WildCard's entire push
どこあるんだろう。
has been put to a quick stop because Forest simply is playing Bandit. Hagar tried to get the wall the first time, he got shut down, and then he got tricked. Okay,
ああすごい面白いとこから
So
今
when
タ
I
クテ
say
ィカルクロ
it's
スボウ入れ
primitive,
た
because
ね。
there's the answer for it,
この
right?
補強壁
You
2
fire
枚に
a
対してさ
Capital
カピタオでさ
arrow
1回
in,
から
pushes Forest off of his
入れてったの。
position. There's tools available that stop the bandit from being able to juggle those batteries. Now, not all
面白い
hope
入
is
れ方
lost.
したね
Eventually the
今。
panel gets opened up. That's credit to WildCard.
アルティメ
They
ットゴロイ
lose
さん
Merc
ど
in
こ
the
です。
process. Forest survives the first altercation.
テルミット好きで5年くらい使い続けてるけど敵見てる時間より壁にらめっこしてる時間の方が長い。わからなくもないが。
Engaging with the Wamai, hoping for some good RNG with the pistol marching up, and we've all been where hot and cold just was.
いやでもテルミットさスモークとスタン選べるから俺結構
circumstance
強
other
いと
than
思う。
winning your gunfight.
Oh, there isn't no team is going to help them either, but the rest of WildCard are falling by the wayside. No one else but the Muncie of Spirits is finding success. I say that Sora's finding
これで話変わりましたよ。
seeking grenade from below, catching Forest mid movement, reduces down to a single HP as well.
うわー打ち
Surf
勝った。
engaging down below, another pick from Space Station. Monty will only have Packer as an escort. Their vision obscured, short-sighted. Packer down, and Spirits pick him up. Yes, he can, but the timer just continuing to run against them. Wasn't much left for Packer to be finished off by that impact. Now the Monty is in the A bomb site, and what would you look at
さすが
that?
にな。
Okay, the capital to Clubhouse and like Cafe because the playstyle on those maps pretty much just plays into the nature of this team's playstyle. Even with the various roster changes, it's always been pretty solid for
ハ
them.
ドブリでテルミが一番強い。でもテルミは結構やっぱり中級者向けかな。
You can deal with
真面目な話多分エースが一番初心者向けだと思う。
You've also got
壁に近づかないでいいっていうリスクが、ね、壁に近づくリスクがどうしてもテルミットってあるからさ、壁に近づいて静止する時間があるっていうリスクがどうしてもあるから、ソロとかでやってるとやっぱエースの方がいいなって。
First pick comes from Forest. Goodbye to Surf. Don't know if Yana had maybe sent in the clone or not, but losing the fight as Space Station ultimately comes out ahead, but WildCard wants to keep it close and so far is succeeding. Only 2 remain for WildCard.
スピリッツが M80 時代とは違ってコンスタントにキル取ってくれるから安定してるよね。まあ IGL やってるのがでかいのかな。まあ俺も多分統計今出てるけどエースがダントツ使ってるね攻撃。いやエースの AK 一番使いやすい部類に入るよね。昔もうちょい癖あったんだけど今マジで使いやすい。一回取った。
Would. thankfully got a time to work with. Yeah, intel's hard to come by, but do some self-destruction from Adam. He's got 2 more self-breaching charges in his pocket. That's gonna give them a bit of line of sight near the bomb site, but the issue once again, Solus and Echo with a Yokai alive on defense gonna make it a lot more difficult to actually ensure the bomb site itself than you normally think, because they have that much intel. They know the default game is hacked now as well. They know that the attacker is that intel on the bomb side, so now they can play far off, play inside a strip, pool table, play at the main staircase, Wolves playing lounge. They actually want WildCard to go to the bomb side, then figure out where they're planting with either Echo or the Solus, and then again play for retake. Not many it seems like to play this kind of way, but SSG, they definitely do.
There's a drop from Spirits. A DMR can absolutely flatten you.
カメラハッキングしてなくね
Spirits marching on in. Adam with coverage down goes Fultz. Are they
そうなの
isolating these
固
last
定
two
カメラ
players?
取られてる
G9 position given away wins the fight.
それ固定カメラ壊したらワンチャン世
Adam
界
looking
戦
to
的にあっ
retrieve
た
the
んじゃない
diffuser or
こ
get
れ
the
ハッキン
final
グしてん
2
のかどうしたん
picks.
だ
That's a heady
そ
task.
れ固定カメラ残ってるよね
For the play as the Yokai comes out.
妖怪もあったんだ
Hot
ろうけど
and cold runs in.
Different angle pingles. About like what happens.
ガーナの犬今日は見えないんじゃないこの間後ろのベッドで思いっきり寝てたけど
Can provide insights that other people can't.
前回の試合かな
About micro movements of the mouse. Yeah.
ブラバ DMR はねカナディアンもやっ
You
た
know it's a good match when you can really dig into the
パラ強いんだけど
device used to aim.
パラ多分全銃の中で一番リロードがおかしいんだよおかしいっていうかリロードしたはずなのにリロードできてないみたいな感じになるリロードモーションだからあれ実際プロでも俺 2,3 回ミスってるの見たよパラリロード
That's what
Surf はマ
makes
ジで強い
watching Siege as a player, as a commentator, as a fan of the game the best for me.
あ
And
そう
it's
ね
why
アスヒ
Clubhouse
4.3 でも圧倒的
one
に
of my
使
favorite
える
maps ever in the game. Because it
アスナ
has
ル
a
ドラさん
lot
こん
of
にち
those
は
things every single round. There were those micro
まあ
decisions.
エース
And
の
there are so many ways to
AK
punish you as
も
well,
若
both
干その
attack
傾
and
向あるんだ
defense.
けど
So good
リロー
players
ド
are
ミスる
good
傾
in
向
the
ね
game, and good teams
ただ
with the
パラは
good
ダン
in
ト
the
ツに
game.
マジでミスる
People tend to favor Clubhouse as well for that same reason, because it's fun for the
そう
brain.
カ
It's
チ
a
ャ
bit
って
of
音みたい
exercise
なの
for
が
the
来るん
mental
だよ
part
そ
of
の
it.
後に1秒ぐらいモーションあるんだよねあれ1秒もないか
Or just
0.5 秒ぐ
throw
ら
it
い
all away, you know?
Are we gonna
なん
see
ちゃっ
another
てリ
swing
ロー
to
ド多い
protect
んだ
these
よ
mirror
ねパラは
windows from space
だったら
station
マーク
that
ス
did
マンの
not
方が
work
確かにいい
out
か
in
も
their
しれない
favor the first time
でも
around.
今ライオンもマークスマン使ってる
Adam
人
was
いる
able
から
to gain serious value off of a
マークスマン
single
だよねっ
Soma
ていう時
charge
代な
as
の
it
かもし
came
れ
at
な
the
いね
expense of Fultz's life. Kitchen has been opened up and almost botched flash from Packer as there goes the hatch inside a kitchen. More bucking has been done. Surf pushing from blue.
昨日パラのリロードでやらかしましたあるよね一発になったからさそのリスクはつきまとうよねパラはマークスマン使いやすい癖ないよねぶっちゃけおフルス落ちた
Did it possibly happen again?
力スパード押し込んだ
Inside a dirt tunnel. He takes down Spirits. Hot and drops to Surf. J9O still in this
なんかホ
position.
ッタンがマジで
Surviving with a
息してないよな
tiny
今
bit
シ
of
ーズン
HP.
ホッタンの良さが全然マジで出て
Now
ない
there's a double drop. A potential triple
あー
drop.
負けちゃった
But
そ
Adam
こ
doesn't live long enough to see that happen. Space Station against the odds once more, but they were able to
お
pull
リバイ
it
ブできる
off in this position. Almost
リバイブする
until Packer
うわー
clutch.
最悪上取られてる
Do
足
they
に
get closer? Do they
これは
change the story on this defense? Be 3 in a row for them. 10 seconds, you wouldn't know it. There's Forrest playing around.
なんか
Down
上
goes
取り返しに
North.
来てる
Diffuser
どういうこ
surrenders
と
two.
あディフューザーが上だったの
Double
か
drop from WildCard.
あ
Forrest is going to retake from above. If he gets a read into
これ
this,
ち
he
ゃん
can
が
stop Packer in his tracks.
お
He doesn't have
お
information in the coverage from Surf.
サーフよく見てたなそれ
For I was such a good
まあパラのサーフは確かに普通に強いと
rotations. Unfortunately, their intention was to rotate to work with because they could have secured the in.
いやシーズン1はそんなことなかったんだよねホッタンもさ結構1で動きたい思想的にはなんかちょっと合ってるんだろうなと思ってたんだけど役割変わってからなんかチームがこう戦いたいからホッタンこうしてもらわないとしょうがないよねになってからマジで持ち味出せない変なポジションになっちゃった一番知らんだよなホッタンがリスク取れるポジションに行けなくなっちゃったからそれがでかいと思うあ、持ちつけなかった
Forrest doesn't want to attempt one onto the left, so with that,
あ、入ってる。
CCTV breach opens very early on.
だよな、今入ってると思っちゃった。
That was a kamikaze mission from WildCard. They spring into the site. They are outdueled quite substantially by Space Station. There's a nade tossed up. Hot and Cold knows that one player lays in wait.
今それ投げて壊さなかった。
Now the two remaining players from WildCard. Their advance up red stairs, heralded by that proximity line. Adam, the first pick. Ashen playing around this panel, and the rodeo.
ここはもうショットガンゲーでしたね。
SSG and a good bomb site.
Like map. Conventional wisdom suggests they should have the upper hand in this engagement. So far they do through the 5 rounds, but anything can change, and Space Station is going to go to the bomb site that they have struggled mightily with, which is that church bomb site down below. They're 0 for 2 here.
ワイルドカード今一つ波に乗れ
Perfect
ないですね。
opportunity for WildCard to go a flawless 3-3 on this bomb site, and then would be 3-3 in terms of the scoreline too. How convenient.
It's a bit of a surprise because like Clubhouse does offer 4 very playable bomb sites, and trying to force basement 3 times out of 6, it must be SSG believing they're so much stronger than they really are, because the numbers say a different ballgame than the actual philosophy here. What looked like a hot drop and blue hatch has been averted. Merrick was not gonna drop, but it looked like it for a second. WildCard, they're all very like, they could go if they wanted to. They're outside of dirt, then the blue hatch, kitchen hatch. But they're still looking for what might be the best way through this round. Of course, they want that perfect 3 out of 3 in basement attack, and they want that even half.
先にフラグで
Well,
オレちゃんが
you're closing on even half. How about the first 2
あれ
picks? Spirits
ま
in the
た
bomb
入って
site. A minute and 20 seconds left on the clock.
いやこのワイルドのこれだよなワイルドのこの
Fultz upstairs.
予期せぬタイミング予備動作なしで入ってくる感じ
Right now, WildCard have their claws around this bomb site. Attempt to drop, but there's one inside a freezer watching him. Ashen the only kill for SSG so far. Admire his attempts with the sidearm.
弾数がない
He's
銃
only
だか
got
ら
a couple bullets in it. He'll run out very quickly on. 15 bullets flies by in a hurry. WildCard antagonizing him with the
ドローン
drone.
で終わり続けてる
Right now at the feet of Ashen, knowing how precious that magazine is for this player. Back up to 16 bullets as he's reloaded.
うわ強っ
Troubling inside a moto. That timer continuing to run down. WildCard just throwing bodies at the problem, but Ashen's not able to get
さすがのダブル
to
ピーク
the
だ
diffuser
と
with 1
Ashen
second left, even before he conclusion.
いや今そのドローンでちょっと時間稼いでる
3 rounds lost. Nah, he's sick of it.
何これ
Pick us back
I
up.
actually can't tell if it's
どうしたのアシュ
Back.
カメラ
Soniqs
落
and
ちてる
OXG on the same.
テックっぽいなお結構長めだったんだねこのテック
going up. Or just bull rush.
これはさすがにワイルドはいやワイルドよりも、連携がすごく美しいと思います申し訳ないですけど ワイルドは本当になんか荒々しく突っ込んでいってるだけなんだよな
5th and 6th way to do it as well, because
ワイルドカードはマジでタイミングの合わせとそのカバーの取り方のポジショニングがマジでうまい
you can change that will massively sway the outcome, or exactly how you get to that end goal of winning those
おアル
rounds.
ティメットゴールさんありがと
The
うござい
very
ます
first one here,
若干何言ったか覚えていないんですけど
I want to say like a semi-roam for WildCard. They're not heavily committed to it, but they have
実況で自分の言ったこと
reinforced walls above. They're playing
何も
those
覚えてないケース多いから
staircases, but this is purely a matter
突き上げ
of
最高って自
wasting
分で
time
明
and killing a
確
couple
に
of
言っておいて
drones.
全く覚えてなかったからな
Okay. Alrighty then, Packer. It's a mighty fine C4 there, good sir.
I mean, there's a fourth way to go about this bomb site that doesn't involve anything that Space Station does. It rests
モッタンさん
entirely on
何
the
も
way
終わらず
the
にこれ飛んじゃ
WildCard
ったん
want
じ
to
ゃない
defend. One thing that we
まずい
did
よ
see from
多分
Space
最後
Station
終わりの
those
ための
three
エースなん
rounds
じゃない
was the quote-unquote patented SSG roam.
ピザ好きゲーマーさんお
Obviously,
今日もいらっ
this
しゃ
is
いこんにち
far
は
from the same team that popularized that style of defense, but it was a relatively tame and sheltered defense for Space
アシ
Station.
ュンのでも
All
置き
three
どころは
attempts
だい
on
ぶ
this
シ
bomb
ーズン
site.
通して整理された感あるね
WildCard
うまくいっ
getting
て
an
なかった
early
時の
pick, engaging early
立て直
on
しは
is
できた気
something
がする
that I don't necessarily think
まあ相変わら
lines
ず
up with what we
今
saw
ね
from
攻
Space
撃面でサ
Station
ポー
on
トやっ
their
てるけど
defenses of this same site.
I have to agree with you.
ある程
But
度
I
やっぱ
guess
り
this is why
任せ
you're
る意
bringing
識。
two heartbreakers.
え
What? Where's Merc going? He's being
Where's
shot
Mark
at
going って言われてる
six
ぞ。
sacks left to right, and then springs
Where's
forward
Mark
to the
going って
gunfire
言われたぞ。
direction.
何してた
I
の
think
今
we're a
の。
little bit confused there, but that
マーク寝
happens,
てた
okay? He said I'm making it fun.
マーク
He
起き
gave it
て。
a 4-4 scoreline.
マーク寝てるぞ。
Around player count, rather.
Fultz dying a bit early again. I say early because there's 1 minute remaining. Much of this round has actually gone by. Ashen searching for his second kill since coming back
マ
into
ー
this
クの謎の
lobby.
行動により
WildCard are hunkered down
3v4
towards
にな
the
っています。
back of the bomb site.
まずい
Down
ですよ、
goes
これ。
Adam as Forrest is dropped. Forrest can be a nasty shot when he
これ
wants to.
2v2 になりました。あ、2v1 になりました。はい、マークやらかしました。
Clear things out as
何マーク、何なの今の判断。だってめっちゃ押し込まれてたよね、アッシュンに。意味がわかんないんだけど。せっかくバッカーがファーストブラッド取ってくれたのに。何だったんだ今のマジで。何の勘違いだ。あんな勘違いあるか。ちょっとさ、攻撃でサッチャーとかやらされてストレスフルになってて おかしくなっちゃったんだよ。もう俺は無理だっつって。俺は走りて夕日に向かってって言って走っていったかもしれない。
Can't fully judge them on that.
Obviously, it's not related to what we're witnessing as
まあ
SSG
NA は
position
前々
on
から
this
な
upstairs
んか
execute.
ツボにはまるとやらかす傾向は強い。
Every single time I see the
EU
free
はもう
cam, I
特
just
定
think
の
of the
チームがやらか
possibilities
す
that
の
it
が決
can
まる。
bring to spectating. It's still very much in its
キャラコンで翻弄しようとしたらどうか
infancy.
した。いやそんなことないでしょ。直線で走ったじゃん今。
Put in great work. But I just once we've had a couple of stages
あれはいけないよ。だって体全部出るもん。
allowing them to toy and tinker
謎
with
の
it.
行動だっ
I think we're going to get some
た。
absolutely
進撃の巨人
spectacular
貴公
views
子だ貴公子。
when it comes to the level of observing
巨人の貴
available.
公子出てきた。
Yes.
This is a tremendously difficult game to observe, but I feel like adding that free cam can make it both challenging, but also, in turn, add to what you witness. There's the very
あとも
first
き
pick.
ついな。
On cold, taking out spirits.
いいからげ。い
There's another as well.
やもう引けないんだよあのポジってさ。金庫側に引かないといけないけど展開型シールド壊された時点でローテッドホールにもう入れないんだよ
Wandering into
ね。
bedroom.
だから下に行けばいいじゃんって話じゃん。いやもう下取られてる状況なんだよ。あの
SSG.
感覚でいくとあのタイミングでいくともう。
WildCard trying to play that again, like the default part of the round, just kind of
あタップストレーフできるのかこのゲーム。知らなかったわ。
playing the game correctly. Behind the deployable
なるほどね。
shields, got ADSs,
勉強になっ
but
た。
Adam dies without moving, without firing back his gun.
パンダさんこんにちは。打ち合わせ終わったの見に来ました。おおお疲れ様ですお仕事。僕も今日見終わったらお仕事ですな。
That's not a very good situation to
今
be
日は
on
オ
the
フィス行かん
defense side of
昨日
things. And
TGS 行ってた
I think if they swing J9O and get the kill, that could be
うわ
where they're at, but
J9O
he's just that much better. Every single time
J9O って
somebody
さ
gives
も
this
う
man
分
a
かってた
gunfight, he
時の
tends
性
to
格
win
さ
them.
絶対刈り取ってくれるよね。安心
Oh
安
boy,
全
Packer. I was
強すぎ。
about to
あれ今日ポスターないの？
pro.
昨日なんか変なポスター掲げてたけど。アッシュン。
Jim?
ポスターというか紙切れ誰かが写ってる紙切れずっと見てたんだよ。誰なのかよくわか
To
んない。
that. For the workload right now is on the shoulders of the roamers of Surf and Spirits.
Seconds off of the round. Discovery going in. Space Station once heralded for their cheeky drones. DZ as well talked about for how they're able to have drones pretty much everywhere at all times, but during that mute Mozzie meta, Space Station was very often credited for having constant intel on you. You saw one of those drones up on the vents over rafters, and now J9O will get a lot of value with one player spotted inside of Cache. Things coming out as well that cannot be capitalized, as I believe an EE1D by Fultz was used before he hopped back onto his drone. Surf roaming and lounge and Han Cold thought stock was free and clear. It was not. WildCard get the first pick. Surf says that's enough. Go back down
スピリッツの右側にあるユニフォーム CAG のサイン。あ、そうな
half
の
of the round
昔
at this
エクセと戦った
point.
時
Also removing the buck. Given that this is a downstairs defense for WildCard, big focal point for SSG with that sledge was to take kitchen. Now you've got breaches in the hands of Ashen and J9O, but it's going to be a lengthier process if you want to open up that floor.
Yeah, it's again that movement, right? Allowing freedom from the defending players, and now they fall back to side to kind of consolidate the troops. And I do like this because they built that early lead, and they get the soft breacher and the grenades, like you mentioned. So they're in a really good position, and they just have one more test left in this basement exam. actually win the 5 versus 4 and hold on to the important areas. Blue especially, where Spirits currently is playing, is the middle ground between both bomb sides, so if they can hold control over that, that'd be very important for them.
Down goes Packer as SSG gets on the board.
これ多分割れだな。
40 seconds seems to be the go timer for most of these teams, though WildCard pulled it off a bit earlier. Absent a Ying, you cannot Candela that Moto door. Flashes will do just fine, or so SSG thinks, but WildCard have
さす
answered
がに
them.
か。典型的な近攻めだな。
Here.
And he just... We saw Surf getting an awful lot of value out of that single shock wire.
監視金庫ジムベットあんまやんないね今週。一周回って監視金庫強くなったのかな。
It looked like Space Station might want to press the advantage as quickly as they could, but all they'll settle for is that opening created by the Selmas, and now they have scrambled.
ちょっとマーク前に行く。前に行くマーク。
They get the
Additionally,
first.
there's a secondary shotgun on the board on defense, so keep your eyes peeled. I don't know if you saw that.
No, I did. I'm more curious though as to what the actual game plan is from Space Station. Like, they get the first of the breach, that's fair. They rotate off it. They don't need it right now, and you don't want to risk dying on that breach solo bolo. But the actual push, this Muncie is alone. Now the defenders don't know that, but we have the silhouettes. Nobody's behind Forest right now. But this could be a good old Muncie's gonna bait that this is gonna be the executing garage, but they're gonna strike elsewhere. And we see Ashen and Jacuzzi, Forest and Stock doors well downstairs, so, or hot and cold rather. So, oh, that's not pretty.
Folds the leadoff pick elsewhere. Merc on the board, subduing J90. Surf. Off-site.
Oh my.
2 players of SSG inside construction. Surf is inside a bedroom. He could swing in and catch them off guard. Have to go quickly. Duel against Forest. Removed as Forest unsheathing the pistol. Nice play by Surf to remove Hot and Cold from this position inside of construction. And now cheeky little peek. Gets the drop on the Fultz. Will secure with the Nitro cell. Crawl out of that way.
おマークジュニア強すぎるぞ。
Making so much noise. We spoke it into existence. No diffuser for SSG. They'll need to pick it back up. As Surf and Adam will wait out the final 30 seconds. Might just be time for kills from Space Station. Nope. Ashen is dispatched. They go pick it up. Now he'll attempt the plant. Adam getting information onto Ashen. There goes an impact. The bandit will be compelled to act, but Ashen is doing all this work himself. Jostle around the diffuser, this time giving it to Forest as Adam shoots through the floor. And Ashen Adam is doing some serious work, but he picks the wrong direction. Forest pulls it off, and Ashen down below.
アシュの立ち回り神がかってるね。SSG の穴全部ケツ吹きに行くやん。どのオペレーター使ってもこれできるからな。
Surely, because Thermite and Forest and Blitz are both locked and loaded outside that breach, and hot and cold on main stairs. Yep, they're gonna go for sure.
If there's anybody who's enough of a lunatic with the skill to back it up, it's Forrest to pull this off, and he immediately dies. All right, so he runs into bedroom. Merc punishing him, also getting Ashen.
あれでもこれあるぞ。
SSG on the board. Hot and Cold trying for the follow-up. He'll do just that, but we're 1 minute into this match, and Hot and Cold is a single point of HP. He's the last remaining player from Space Station. So the rush strat with the map on the line. Seems like a decent idea. Why not? Catch them off guard. But so far today, not a single team that we have watched has been able to pull off a successful rush on any of the 3 maps. Space Station just following the trends. Not the trendsetters that they used to be. The 3...
I'm slightly closer to it.
そうか、マークフルスカと戦うのかメジャーかけて戦ってる感じなんだな。よくよく考えて。
See what they can figure out though. I mean, you take a technical timeout on match point, there's 2 outcomes. Either you talk about the following round, so the current one, and that's it in the vacuum.
まあさっきの速攻は SSG らしいよね。
Or you say, okay, let's prepare for the next round, but let's also talk notes for overtime in case we get there. Because you don't have a minute to talk to your coach. And you can't really cover everything, so you gotta really pick your battles and be very quick and efficient about it. And hopefully, the members of SSG, which I believe they're capable, will be able to like take that discussion forward into the rounds to come.
この車線
So
強いよ
if you've done a good job as a coach, is that you give the tools to your players to
あ、シュ
problem
すごい
solve
と
on
こから
their
見てる
own,
ね
but with guidance at times, right? Whereas a poor coach will have to tell you the literal solution for everything, so then technical time when it's over, the players are completely clueless. Half the round is already burned by. Nothing's really happened. This is a classic basement clear, as I mentioned earlier. What happens usually in a basement room clear? Well, not a lot, not in terms of gunplay, because defenders are now turtling up. The Mira, the Mossy, the Fender, the Mizo Omai, they're bunkered up. They want to welcome the attackers into the bomb side and then shut them down. So for Space Station, this is a fine line between going quick enough to have time to work with, but not so quick you start skipping a basic step somewhere and either lose a member or you're missing a key portion of the map, certain, hole in the floor, certain
ちょっ
grenade
と
declare,
新しい
shield,
指示という
etc.
か他のチームができないことはやってると思う。でもやっぱりそれができたのがアイコニックの存在が大きかったんだよね。ブルドーザーアイコニック。しかもフィンカと LMG っていう時代。あの時代のアストレイスはマジ最強だった。
50 seconds remaining.
もう手動の差し込みと、まあ、ファーストアタックの差し込みっていうのかな。もうそこで全部借り取るからね。あれがエグかった。
Still there in spades for the attackers.
まあそういう意味では変なタイミングでラウンド間の変なタイミングで予備動作なしで当たってくるっていうのはその頃から脈々と受け継がれてる伝統なのかもしれない。トリプルピークされてたけど、うお、ホッターがさトリプル持ってった。ホッターが全てを解決。まあでも今のは多分フォレスト突っ込ませてやられてもいいから後ろでキル取り切ってねっていう形だったんだと思うから今のは別にフォレストの突っ込みは悪くないと思う。
Intel, and because Souls is banned off by SSG, well, finding drones now is a lot more difficult. It's why 9 out of 10 drones, or should I say 4 out of 5 drones survive the burn phase. But who will not survive is gonna be Merc. He was sniped from across the map all the way to West Window Repelled stage. That's unfortunate.
Not exactly the start that you want. Down goes Merc. Down goes Yana. Down goes the nade. Still have nades in the hands of Spirits, so not all hope is lost. This is a reading execute for Wildcard, so you want to keep the sledge alive.
Yeah.
Need to keep the sledge alive, dare I say it. Is this not one of the bomb sites as well when you and I casted a Kafe a long time ago, and by a long time ago I mean probably last week?
Yeah.
Where you said that RAM gets very, very good value on this particular site. Is that am I going crazy here?
No, yeah, you'd be very correct. I mean, not a soft floor, right? And you want to destroy it, and who does it faster and better than RAM? Arguably nobody. But if you want to play Dokkaebi and 2 sets of grenades and an Ash, you just kind of start for opportunities to operate. But look at that! A swing on in from Sturgeon, back down he goes.
SSG leading the way in these engagements, doubling up on numbers. Fruitless fight from Spirits on the reading door as he's leaned into his monitor about as close as he can possibly go. Walks into Forest's waiting arms, and now it's Adam to take above. One pick to start off with. Grab cam access as well. 1 logic bomb in back pocket, 3 flashbangs.
マークさん2年ぐらい前まで普通にまあでもポッカー多かったよね TSM 時代
selfishly because who else is going to benefit from it? Unless there are drones laying around that could possibly give him intel, and it certainly looks that way because also the cams are in their back pocket too, or front pocket, I suppose, if you wanted to be more accurate. Yokai drones giving away the position of Adam as he's now inside of Laundry. Those Yokai drones are also giving information. Still controlled by Houghton though, as Adam is stuck inside of the laundry room, finding the Yokai, but having some struggles all the while, the clock continuing to run away. The 3 players from Space Station not really needing to move a muscle at all. Adam's next step is to retrieve the diffuser, which is inside of reading. He has to be concerned with getting the plant down. Why? Because the kill holes above him will provide audio. Forest will know that the diffuser is being activated. Not moving there just yet. I don't know if they have a read on this. He might have caught Space Station. Bit of an awkward spot. Flash out. Prepared to take 1 engagement. Kill holes to his right. Missing out on an opportunity. All three players of SSG emerged from a very similar
今のフォレストうまかったね。
club car.
Play out, right? Where you say
今のフォレスト釣りなんだよな。
earlier, you know, in the prep work, but Jesse and Lax kind of broke out on desk saying WildCard's map pool just isn't that great. They were kind of
マー
forced
クはだ
into
から
this
1時代
campaign.
前の
They
あれでし
didn't
ょ
have much
若手って
choice.
感じだもんね。だいぶ中堅どころになってきたよマークも。
Nope. We've all been there. Swing and a miss. Starting on the top floor now. Oh, somebody early. Mark safe for the time being.
森だけに釣りって。
This mining execute that will
フォレストああいう
unfold
や
from
らしい
WildCard.
役やらせたら
Your cacophony
めちゃくちゃう
of
まい
those
から。
phones ringing off as there's
3
a
の森
light
さんっていう
castle barricade that goes up on one of the cocktail windows
あの
as
下
Jane
打ちマジで
assumes
ク
a
ソ
very
出せよ。
familiar
まだ1ラウン
position
ド目だ
onto the black mirror. A look inside of back bar. WildCard
ディ
stacked
フューザ
up
ー
on
解除
these
した後に
windows.
3人で
Who
屈
will
伸
be
し
the
てた。
first to get into the building? Oh
うわ
my
す
god,
げえ投げ
look at those
すげえ
indicators.
投げ物
As they toss everything plus the kitchen sink at Ashen. Prevailing in that duel.
この辺り結構ワイルドカードラフに行くよね。なんか情報取れてなくても一人やられても次の人でキル取ればいいっていう発想のように見える。
seconds in. Last two players hunkered down. Forest drops.
神谷じゃないこれ。
Adam is so close
どっ
by.
ちが神谷かわかんないけど。
Who's prepared for this?
あやりきれんかった。
Forrest sees it tagging him quite heavily. But Adam
Kevin
is
横移動
going to
早いから。
continue to run. 1 minute left now. Hot and cold, keeping numbers close.
あでも
WildCard
削
still
って
with
く
the
れてた
advantage
から
of 1 minute left
ロン
on
グ
the
レンジ
clock.
で掘ったんが倒せる。
Really awkward here for WildCard because they do have numbers advantage with one, but planting is going to be difficult. SSG, they're still holding on. Yellow pings come out, so intel is there for them. WildCard, they have to act quickly before SSG can help one another.
Oh my,
潰れてきつい
SSG
ね。
have caught WildCard in a bad spot.
位置は取れてるっぽ
Diffuser
い。
in a lion's den.
いや位置が分かっ
Or
て
the
ても
Viper's
列
pit,
車の中が
depends on
強
which
すぎ
type of
る。
animal you prefer. Drop, look at hot and cold.
あ列
So
車の中
close
バレてなかった。
range. Doing serious damage and getting the down. There's a nade unsheathed. Hottie does not take the bait. though. Forced on the cross, and now Merc knows that it's not a 1v1 in this
いいフラグ
engagement.
飛んだ。
Nade goes in, hot and
あるよ。
cold flushed out. Can
マックスあるよ
Forrest
これ。
shut down Merc? Merc is just so damn good.
強っ。
Wildcard strike back in round number 2.
And again, it comes down to the wild once more, and these kind of faking it. Gap in the control they want with them.
今の強かったね。
Bombs. Every single bomb site
さ
was
すが
present.
マークだな。
Albeit, Foreign Stage only got played one time, but it still counts.
Yeah, of course.
Still hung up on this bomb site not being called bakery. I don't care how long this rework has
サー
been
フ
in
は
the
マ
game
ーク
for.
であり
I
ソロ
still
ト
call
フ
it
であり
bakery.
忙しいな。
Just like I still call it Twitter.
Hell yeah. Don't blame me for that one at all. Old habits die hard.
なんか持ってきてるね。あ、で
I
も
don't
業
care
界
what
ド
you
ラマ起こ
change
っ
the
た。
name to. Both bomb sites are in the kitchen, but guess what? Still bakery in my heart. Nades tossed in. Also the Gone 6, removing one of those dread mines. Wildcard bringing the blitz. No fanfare from you with the blitz. Ascends on the board as well. Merc team like Sends. That rolling gadget will keep on going. Spirits in hot pursuit of the one J90. He gets dropped. Trading.
ただ削れになった。
In very short order.
フルーツがかなり
The
大
blitz
事
is
ね。
still alive. I'm certain you'll be overjoyed at that one.
ああバレてた。
Loved it. Great execute. Not only
ここでさ。
Spirits himself, one of the best blitz players in the world, but also WildCard, they know this and they play so well around it. We don't see Sense with a very high presence and pick rate and pro play, but for these one-off strats, Sense is one of the greatest operators because you just get a really quick smoke wall to shroud an entry point, and Spirits can just do his
いや
job
うま
like
いブリッ
this.
ツスピリッツめちゃくちゃうめえ。
Hot and cold's
Look at his
next.
score line's 420.
ペングが喜んでんだ。
Don't betray yourself. Give the kill to somebody else. Oh,
ペングもブリッツめちゃくちゃうまいんだよね。
Sends and Blitz. The last two operators still up.
うわうまスピリッツ。
Spirits
スピリッツうま。
blazing a trail
ブリッツ一番うまいかもしんないこの人。
Just, you know, just hit every
天狗の
single
声ってマリオ来てマ
He
リ
blows
オ
that round. Your man spread better. Just a small little tip there because a lot of people don't seem to know. It's also a mechanic that doesn't happen very often. But TLDR, shoot shields. Don't just do that. Look at them.
Down goes Packers. There's the very first altercation. Before we get in there, I was hoping that the pace of this particular round is a little bit slower, just so I can kind of date myself here. Remember when you used to be able to kill a blitz by shooting his earmuffs?
Oh boy. Yeah, that was a tough meta to be a blitzer.
That was back when your armor, quote unquote, was still part of the hitbox, and that was something that the devs changed like 6 years ago at this point. Think about yesterday, we actually saw a match where somebody was shooting the backpack of Lion and it wasn't doing any damage. Well, that's because it's not actually his body. In real life, if you had a gun and you shot somebody's backpack,
oh no,
it wouldn't kill them, but you would definitely feel it. Obviously, this is not a real game. You don't just pull metal reinforcements out of your behind.
I was gonna bring that up.
But it changed the hitboxes so that everybody's the
うわ、
same
伝統
size
的なブラック
hitbox,
アイ
but
だ
your visual silhouette might be different. Blitz back in the day, you used to shoot the protective headphones that he had on his head, those ear cups, and it would actually kill him and count as a headshot.
Yep.
Thank goodness both of these teams for the pacing they set, because now the killing will resume once we have finished our anecdote. And there's another casualty for WildCard.
It seems like the counter to WildCard is if you shut them down early, you shut them down for good. They really thrive off just having that momentum in terms of like when they want to push forward, nothing can stop them. And when you lose a member early in the round, you have one whole less gun and operator on the ground, so a lot less can be worked with. And you also see SSG playing out that beautifully where they get an initial kill and they kind of fall back. They don't need to hold top floor anymore. They just gotta worry about the bomb side, maybe play on a basement staircase. And you see here, everyone's relatively close to one another, so that if a fight does break out at some point, a possible trade can happen, or at the very least, they don't lose that part of the map because that member just happens to die.
Explosions galore, one over the top ahead of Fultz, but
久しぶりにその上に上がってる人見た。
WildCard pick up 2 picks. One from SSG keeps the advantage for Space Station. Now it's an ill-advised peek from Surf with Merc trying to get to the site. Diffuser in hand, shut down by Space Station. Back and forth.
We saw and hold on where not about that. All 4 rounds, and I think if you're having a statistically hard game like Packer currently is 0-4, of course he has value elsewhere, but in terms of just raw killing, I think it's fantastic when you can say, okay, it's time for a multi-round, because whenever you are down like this, going 0-4 for example, it's great to pick up the multi, because you're probably still not going to get any kills, but you'll be alive, you can plant a lot easier, get that roam clip going. Look at this. Packer walks in, Surf's behind him, they can clear out this top floor in no time with very little risk of anybody actually dying. And we know, because we have the silhouettes in top-down view, that there isn't really a roaming presence from Space Station. But if you're WildCard, you can't take that risk. You gotta check every corner, drone every floor, and just spend the first half of the round and pay the respect to the opponent, saying, there could be someone hiding there. I mean, we saw Beast Coast play Caveira on Oregon last play day, just hiding inside a small tower. So anything's possible. You never know.
どうなんだろうね。このでもマークは確かに確保したんですよ。
Secondary breach charges goes down and more explosions all around as there goes the hatch that leads from inside a dining towards the back of Freezer. That's the bottom floor Freezer, not to be confused with what some might call the Freezer upstairs. I like the Monty pick again. Last time that WildCard attacked on this bomb site, it was a Blitz that was taking center stage. Spirits is on the buck instead. Maybe more of a classical lineup for WildCard. No sends, no blitz. Yeah, I'd say that's probably more normal now.
Yeah. I mean,
でもまあなんかあれだね、ニックネームで書いてたら笑える。
As long as the cover is good enough, vertically speaking, I think they can just get this bomb started to get down, honestly.
It's the Ninja Turtle plant, right?
Sure, yeah.
The shield on your back, get the plant down by the bomb chassis. SSG's numbers narrowed down by WildCard, who've only lost Adam, but now Merc will lay on the ground, bleeding out in the Ross map. Spirit's gone too. Ashen engaging with the Monty. He gets out of there. I think that's a wise decision. Hold on a second. What the hell was that? Space Station literally.
Went up.
取りきれませんなワイルドカード。攻めに定評があるチームだから3本は取っておきたいよね。アシュンは NRG のタグつけてました。そうなんですか。
I in fact have a whole soundboard in front of me, but I feel like sometimes using the mute button is me limit testing as is. Oh, the odd soundbite might be entertaining to interject, maybe not. Maybe not professional. This approach for Cocktail will start below, the opposite of what we tend to see, which is that you clear from the top down. There is no top to clear from other than the roof. So for WildCard, they're going to want to buck from below. They're going to want to nade from below. Hold on a second here. Hold on, Forest. They are so close to you. They're closing in on you. The logic bomb was going. The wall was open. Nobody from WildCard heard this whatsoever. And Forest in this spot.
フォレスト走る3だぞ。暴れ散らかしてる。
Phenomenal. I mean, that's a solo bolo, a little good old 1v2, and he also, I mean, he could walk up the white staircase. If he doesn't, then he'll die to Adam. But the timing, Forrest the magician.
そうなんだよな。髪見せて誰なんだかわかんないんだよな。キャスターフォローしてた。
Nade primed on the rappel. SSG.
よう引けたな。
A sizable advantage at this point.
上に行かずにしたい。
Run downstairs and run the gamut. And focused a lot on more of the macro and not the micro. Packer still searching for his first kill in this map. He's about to go the entire first half without any impact on the scoreboard. Jane, I know, long range, doing some damage, but can't walk away with a victory in the duel. Now it'll be Spirits to inch on up. Packer holding the diffuser, so he needs to stay alive, maybe make his presence felt. Down goes Spirits. Adam damaged, same with Packer. Now Packer's gone. He will go the whole first half without a kill. So now, a miracle needs to happen, but it won't.
よく守れてんじゃん。
And they're
4-2?
favor of space. Get the first goal into utility. Individual finds value elsewhere. That can be with in-game leadership, being vocal, or playing these intel-oriented operators like the Valkyrie to relay information to his teammates, like what you can on attack by using drones or playing Monty, for example. It's always tough when an individual player is having a bad day because it's hard not to point out as a commentator, but also in fans are watching, it's easy to go, haha, that guy's bad, he's 0-6, haha, that guy's good, he's 5-5. When it's like there are so many small details that play into these rounds that are really hard to account for. Packer hasn't been useless this game, but he also hasn't been the hero yet.
No, that's entirely true. And I mean, I also think it boils down to the role that you're on, right?
Yeah.
全然もう SSG ペースだけどね、1マップ目取ってるから。
On this wildcard roster that you expect to be racking up the kills. He's not going to be at the forefront of most of their attacks, and he's not going to be wasting the most time on
物足りなくなるな、接戦に。
As you can see, he's playing Lion, he had the diffuser a lot of rounds. In a lot of ways, he's playing that flex support role, and I imagine it's the same with the way that he's going to approach Valkyrie on this defense. Though I will say, losing Spirits not too far off of the bomb chassis upstairs. This is a cocktail defense for WildCard. Everybody on WildCard are now going to have to carry more weight because the 5 kills to beat SSG are going to need to be found by 4 people, not by the 5. WildCard have found themselves in a tough spot in their very first defense.
If I'm Spirits, I'm blaming Surf, right? There's no disc to cover me, the nade goes out, I get injured. Where's one of my disc, you know? But that's the difficulty of Omai versus Jaeger.
ブラジルはでもここからじゃない。ノックアウトステージから。
Omai, you will recharge discs as the round plays out.
ちょっとレベルの低いチームがブラジルはグループに多すぎる。
So had a few more seconds gone by, maybe he'd be saved.
マクさん
Either way, the first guy to step up to this challenge is Merc. He finds the first kill for WildCard in this round, but they need more.
Multiple flashbangs go in, but
J9 やっぱ見えた時の刈り取り力が異常だよな。
I know that's just a simple one-for-one gunfight that J9 comes out ahead of. Fultz, the suicide flick on in, serve a beautiful shot.
さあ仕事したぞそれは。
Before being downed, but can be retrieved. But Ashen is on the hunt. He'll get the pick.
15 seconds left.
Hacker and Adam. Hacker down below with the nitro cell. We talk about impact kills. This could be the most impactful kill for him. And on this round, and there he goes, breaking the goose egg. With Adam picking up.
ミスクリームさんこんにちはいらっしゃい。ここはでもよく守ったなって感じだな。ギリギリで守った感じだな。
There's gotta be some theory behind it, right? That we're missing out on.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason.
This is where you need to be the expert, not me.
サーフが安定して強い気がするけど、ですもまあまあ多い。
There's a reason for it, and it's gonna make sense, maybe not. But I have no idea what that specific use case is. When we get to the bomb site, maybe we'll see the player positions. I mean, I'm just assuming it's a long line of sight, one way or the other. There's no cover for the attackers. We'll see. Either way, Space Station doing Space Station things with Forrest, just walking with Muncie, kind of being the bait again, trying to take off eyes towards his location because while he's attacking Bakery single-handedly, well, the rest of Space Station are getting ready elsewhere. Roam clearing, lurking around, trying to catch Aroma off guard with combination of players and those Dokkaebi calls from Fultz. So far, no catch.
そうだね、スピリッツも安定してるね。
A Q right now, spawning these gadgets, giving information. Merc now the one on the Valkyrie. The changes to shotguns have really enabled flexibility on the loadout for Echo. There goes Merc, by the way.
レギーとグループステージ敗退する夢みたいですけど、正夢ですけど、正夢じゃなかったですね。ちゃんと突破してます。
A lot of teams running the suppressed Supernova on Echo because of the strength of shotguns now. Especially on this downstairs bomb site, you get a lot of value playing those close corners.
You do. I mean, the big thing to note here is that SSG fishing for a kill with Dokkaebi is very high in value because you get to hack the cameras, you find the Yokais and the black guys from Valkyrie, so all of a sudden, Intel gets shut down immediately from the side of SSG, and WildCard are going to play most of this round blind with the very best intel they have, as so do SSG.
Forest. Best player in terms of duels so far. Suffering a near fatal blow. Walking into Bakery. There goes Adam to hot and cold. One by Whiskey, but Fultz is just a little bit too quick. Oh my goodness. SSG so surgical.
妖怪ワンチャンス。
In freezer, sidearm out. Tough to control the bearing 9, but he gets it done. Removing hot and cold. He's given his position away. Now he downs Forest, but
でもまだ SSG ペースに見えるけどな。このタイムアウトで流れ変わるのか。今結構モンターニュで平面ヘイト集めての立体的な上攻めだったから。結構理想的な一回攻めだったけど。
Bad predicament to find yourself in. SSG already up 1-0, as you can see. That little blue dot next to the space station logo in the top center of the screen. The winner of this best of 3 goes on to play M80 with a shot at the Atlanta Major on the line. Not all hope is lost, though, for the teams that ultimately fail to succeed. Oh, it's not a predicament that you really want, right?
Oh, it's not. Oh?
Oh,
no.
You know, I like when patient players they get rewarded for holding an angle. But actually,
抜いたんだそれ。
he ends up getting rewarded. But though the first pick doesn't go in his favor,
SSG ペースですよ。
goes to Adam. But it trades back, and Space Station finds an advantage. So while they don't get the first pick, numbers still favor the SSG squad.
今多分2頭の音聞こえたから。
Ringing out. Top floor control, looking good for Space Station. Dokkaebi, you can hack into the cams as well as Forrest will juggle the diffuser.
夢の内容で誰かに伝えるとまさ夢じゃなくなるらしいです。すでに過去にその事実が決定してたのに、そこで夢見ても変わんないし。あ、まずい。
Absolutely annihilating Packer down below.
Good night. Yep, and then all of a sudden that C4 doesn't work on the ceiling anymore. Serves to my Adams the Thorn. There's no way to deny the plan here. They gotta fight it out. But this is where SSG, they're so disciplined, right? They're not gonna make that mistake and go too fast. They're gonna destroy all the floor, get situated, then get the cover, and then go for the plant. Oh, the thorn trap.
Razor Bloom going off. Adam sees the upside down.
うわダブルピークしてる。上の車線かきくった。
Wildcard have leveled things out. Not
ゴールさ間に合って残り40秒。
say about that. Now it's Surf. Will ride the waves, but ultimately fall.
SSG ペースじゃん。タイムアウトでも止めれんかったぞ。
Into Caroline. That pool from WildCard. It's just you lose a guy like usual, but when Doggy hacks those cameras, the literally works against you. It's almost like playing 6 versus 4 because now the defenders can shoot their own default cameras and Valkyrie cameras, all the attackers will see what they are. So you gotta stay close to sight, close to our friend, not sacrifice that camera leak.
I mentioned in the previous round that not all hope is lost. Is that there
俺
will
さ
be a
申し訳ないん
seeding
だけ
match
どさ
played for the last chance qualifiers, which as the name
動画
suggests
見
is
始め た
your
時
last
さ
chance of qualifying
まだ
for
試合
the
中だった
Atlanta
からさ
Major. There are
どう
also
しても立ち上げた時に見るじゃ
on
ん
the line. OXG
だ
will
から
await
3マッ
the
プまで行って
loser
るの
of
は
this
知ってんだよ
matchup in that LCQ
結
match.
果最終結果はその後
Soniqs
リア
will
ル
be
タイムだった
playing.
から知らないけど
M80 will be playing whoever wins here. Right now, certainly
歯
looks like
茎出しすぎ
Station
て
is
入
the
れませんかい
favorite.
マジで
We've seen games
攻
completely
撃
flip
が
on
だ
your
から
head
歯茎出
before.
しようがあんまりなくないか
Task for WildCard is an immense one, but not impossible, and not one that we haven't been in this position to see a team like
これフォワード
WildCard
バット取れてるじゃん
before. But with that, I'm wandering downstairs in the nook of hot
こ
and
れなんか
cold.
決まりそうな世界線俺が見た世界線は別の世界線だったのか
Against the 5 of Space Station, half of the round to go, and SSG just needs 4 more
ジョン・
kills.
タイターとは違う世界線にいる
Their
のか俺は
spot against M80.
Classic hot and cold round. And he plays Valkyrie.
勝ったの風呂入ってくる
and
展開だよな
you
これ
use their intel against him because Nuke can't be seen by those
あ
cameras.
丁寧
He
な
finds that
丁寧
opening
な
kill for his team.
ね丁寧なペレ
Second
ットだ
step,
し
clear out those mirror windows, but the crossfire well established here by WildCard. As the member of Freezer, that Spirit and Smoke can shut down those X-Cairo pellets. Means that the executor is not going to be as easy as it might have looked in the beginning for Space Station Gaming.
Nice shot back. I don't know if Hot and Cold saw that one coming, but if there's anybody who's going to be able to hit the good night, it's the man who helped popularize it himself in Merc. In terms of kills on the wildcard side of things, not a single player is in the positives right now, which is not ideal. It's been relatively even amidst the top kill getters, as you want to call them. But you need a standout performance over the next couple rounds. There's very little room for error for WildCard at this point.
まあこれはしょうがない
Station now battling the timer and the players from WildCard who are very eager to greet them. Surf a pick, WildCard with an
3マ
advantage.
ップ目行く夢見たのかな
Come to blows
で
as
も今
Packer
みんなに
gets
話した
flashed
からさ
full charging in amidst the gas. He thought he had a
あ、そうか。そうした
lineup,
ら
but there's
あれか
nobody
2マ
to
ップで
see
終わる
him, and he costs himself an opportunity to get Diffuser down.
まあここはしょうがないでしょ
Putting
固く
in
守
some
られて
serious
こ
work.
れは別に歯茎でも何でもないと思うけ
It's
ど
1D.
ファーストブラッド取れてるからもったいなかったねぐらいなんだ
All of a sudden, why you
いや今のはねあれ 1v1 じゃなくてミラが崩せなかったから
2 or 3 rounds just literally
あなんか変なミラ張ってる
he will swing them
あのミラ
without
久しぶりに見たな
hesitation. Again, working off his instincts,
すごい
knowing that he
極
can
小だ
get
けどね
those
このミラ
skills working for his team, and it has been working out mostly. I mean, Merc's 8 and 8. He's traded equally 1-1. No issues there at all. You see what it slows down to another round here, just trying to make sure everybody makes it to the building alive.
This has been a good series between these teams, and this match in particular has been a good one as well. Obviously better if you're a Space Station fan, but this is where WildCard has the chance to elevate this match from good to
この1枚
great.
を割らないとベーカリー
3
コレってい
rounds
い
in a row, defying the odds and sending us to overtime.
まあでもこの辺りのやっぱりガジェット破壊の統制はだいぶ SSG シーズン序盤に比べてよくなってもともとできてたことがやっと試合でできるようになってきたんじゃない
Also, they won't be able to do it alone. They will likely need some assistance from Space Station, but when I say assistance from SSG, I don't mean that in a positive manner. I mean that as in Space Station will have to commit some mistakes that WildCard will read into and punish. This is half of the round now done. Focus for Space Station. Onto this main floor. Merc will be the gatekeeper, playing at the bottom of red stairs. The Logic Bomb surely giving away his position.
あははそういうこと
Fultz was waiting for it.
オーバータイムエンターテイナーだ
There's
から
J90. Throws onto red stairs. Fultz assessing Merc. They were once the duo all the way back on OB.
うわいい初戦
He lines him up.
マークちょっと甘かったら今やられてた
Walking away. Folks will have another opportunity. Killhole still there. Sledging going on as well over top of the bomb site. SSG doing the necessary work to pull off and execute, but there's still some steps to go.
Yeah, there are many steps to go here, and no clear way of how they're gonna execute, right? Don't got that Monty, don't got a nose for the shields. I mean, Ashen and Grim could open things up and get those beasts out, spot out some defenders for wildcard, but again, the bomb has to go down somewhere. SSG, they're running out the plays. They're not sure where to go, but here it is. One bottom white stairs, two guys headshot. This is the moment.
いやー、展開型シールドがきつい。
WildCard looking for a flawless lockout. Forrest inside a freezer, jumped upon, but he's better in that engagement. No flawless for WildCard. Yokai still up as well. Nade sails out. Forrest trying to keep his players at bay with some area denial. He needs Fultz to get in the position though. 10 seconds left, and Fultz can't get it
これも
done.
歯茎じゃない全然。オペレーター構成でちょっと負けてる SSG が。冷凍攻めするんだったら VIP の処理をどうするかが最終的に決めきれずに、それはなんでかっていうとエコーが怖かったから中入った時のために IQ 持ってきてたんだけど、だったらフローレスでちゃんと展開型シールドを壊してからもっと時間ゆとり持って現地に行くっていうタクトった方がよかった。結局ビップ崩せなくて全て作戦が破綻してた組み立てが。
kind of mini executes, right? Double window open up, EMP finds out, Selma follows, and this is actually a very nice off-pace hard breach where they don't have to worry about doing that later in the round.
1週間遅れたから。
It frees up Jaina, no, it frees up Fultz because the EMPs have been spent, the hard breach has been spent. If you time the wrong clear now, the wall's already opened up. And perhaps this will allow SSG to play more aggressive and less conservative because they've already done the last step of the plan as their first step in this round.
You know, you might want to change the
すげえジャンピング
roster,
ジャンピング
you might
ショッ
change
ク
the
ドローンだと
roster
壊せ
on
る
the team. And you can take the players out of the choke, but you can't take the choke out of the organization because time and time again, SSG's fatal flaw is that when they get really close, they seem to stumble. The amount of times that they have the lead within their grasps and then just something breaks down. Lack of confidence, bad comms, who knows? And again, this is a completely different
今セルも
roster.
天井に引っかかんの。
This really shouldn't be happening with different players. But to surrender 2 rounds, that's not ideal. And now Forrest has been cut off of the wire on rappel. Now size 2 through the hatch. Doesn't see Adam there. 3 kills for WildCard. Space Station. Right now, looking like it's coming down to a crash landing in regulation. Yeah, is it possible Hot and Cold and J90 can bail the rest of the team out of this? Sure, of course it's possible. Probable at this exact moment, with the clock where it is and the utility and lineup from WildCard, it sure seems like we are barreling towards overtime.
Oh, it very much looks that way. I mean, J9 and Hot and Cold, they gotta pull out a round out of their hats to win this one. And starts off pretty well for J9. No, maybe there's still a chance in this round.
ないのかもしれない。
A 5v2 or 5v3 tends to be among the most dangerous lead in Rainbow Six Siege
上
esports.
取りに行くんだ。
And SSG's last 2 players haven't suffered a single dent onto them, but this utility will persist. The jammers are still there. There's still a nitro cell that can be actively used by Spirits. 10 seconds left for J90 to get into the site and go for a plan. He assesses that the A-bomb site of Dining is a better option. Spirits botching the C4. There goes Hot and Cold. J90 pulling it off. WildCard do the unthinkable and pick up 3 rounds in a row, propelling us to overtime.
Oh, I mean, this is dangerous territory. I guess.
いやこれね、何がうまいかって話なんだけど、まず方針として全然 SSG が歯茎でも何でもなくて甘えてるわけじゃなくて、自分たちのやろうとしてることをやろうとしてるんだけど、一回ガジェットで止められるんだよ、ワイルドカードに。でガジェットで止められた後に停滞したら積極的に動かれてるから、それで SSG が捕まえきれなくなってる。
They need help from SSG. WildCard still need to capitalize. WildCard is absolutely capitalizing. Getting those first couple picks. That is taking advantage of the negligence of Space Station, of which there is no greater example than what's on your screen right now. There is a default
しかもライオンだってことがバレてるぞ。
and space station players are visible on it as
アシュ
Merc
さん
sits on it and gives
それいつ
intel
飛
to
び
the
出され
rest
て
of
もお
the
かしくない
team.
よ。
That's bad. I mean, if they just get the right time with the intel, they can definitely punish Ash, and they know he's a little
Ashen-san?
isolated, and he doesn't realize, and he's probably not going to in this round. So if anybody's gonna repel on the cocktail windows, well, WildCard will know about it. That's very valuable information because those Valkyrie cameras, there was a change to them quite a while back. They cannot be outside the building any longer. So the only way to have this kind of intel is by default cameras and simply not being shot
あ
out.
と1ラウンド全然取れなくて負けることをプレッシャーで失速するように見立ててチョーク。そうなの。 あ、チョークってあれか首絞めのことか。
It might speak to their state as well currently. Getting a little bit sloppy with these rounds. And they're kind of locked out again. These mirror windows, they've been unable to clear it every single round. They got the dash this time, but Merc with another C4 for the kill again.
今マー君全部あった。
Oh my goodness, SSG getting
ここもさ結局ミラが突破できないんだよ。
over. Well, it's eliminating Surfer as close to it as you're gonna get. Now marching down white stairs. He's got a
ほら
lot
も
of
う
angles
強引
to
に
look
白
at.
回もあるけど白回取れてるわけじゃないからねこれ。削られたからもう仕方なく言ってるだけだから。ほらミラが重いのよ。
And honestly, they are playing scared. How do you dig
この
yourself
解
out
決
of
策
this
が多
spot?
分
Your
な
whole
い。
strategy's been blown up. You've lost your lion. Ashen has completely disappeared
思
over
い
the
切って言っ
last
てるけど
4
さ
rounds.
これささ
Now
それ
the
全部
rest
見
of
えてるよ
SSG
ね。
will take matters into their own hands.
だよね。
Simply extraordinary most of the time.
よく今フォレスト1キル取ったって感じだ
Will
よ。
need to clutch out in a 1v2. He has information over towards white. Fuser is down. Merc and Packer will play off of that. After speaking of Packer's inability to find the score sheet,
ダブルピックしてる。すごいダブルピックしてる。
no doubt. Working very well.
おお
Hard. What the hell?
取るんだ。
Fultz with two.
And putting his team
い
in
やこれ SSG 何度もチャンスあったじゃんこのマップ決めきる。
was the one clutching. Always gonna swing.
よく取ったねそれ。
We would always no.
いやでもいい
you
ダブル
do
ピックだ
what
ったんだけど。
instinct tells you to, and it was just the complete opposite of that scenario.
まあフルーツのキャラコンがうまかった
I am
単
at
純
a
に。
loss for words when it comes to this matchup. OXG and Soniqs were a barn burner.
ウィーミスクリームさん仕事頑張ってくだ
Was
さ
a
い。
barn burner. We were talking so much ish about SSG and how they seemingly could not do the most basic of things, and
これ
then
でも決めきれない
WildCard
ん
pulled
だ。
off a relatively
SSG.
enormous blunder. Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. If I was Merc, I would be equally tilted, Nick. Because that was a round that he did pretty much everything in his power to win, and ultimately the team lost. WildCard will need to now win 2 in a row. They've already done it once by winning 3 in a row. Well, they'll have to accomplish it again, but this time, that might be it for the momentum. Down goes Spirits, but up walks Surf. Packer on the board as well. Another
いやー
target
ちょっ
over
ときつい
towards
ねアッシュの位置が。
Spotted as there goes an Ash charge to open up a window towards Ashen. Merc inside a
よく引いたそれ。
J9 missing an opportunity
神がかり
to
的
finish
な引き。い
that.
や他が耐えられない。
WildCard playing angry.
J9 はそこ勘 OK だからな。
They've got every single number for these players of SSG, and in a hurry
い
they
や
send
こう
us
いう
to
攻めやっぱ
15
ワイルド
rounds.
強いよな。ワイルドじゃないワイルドカード。
The matches are 50 realistically.
Had nice some of those angles and ground some
うわ
protection
フォレストのブリッツ不安でしかない。
SSG don't full commit the same
いい
way
試合
as
だと思う。
WildCard did. It's just a blitz with smoke grenades from the
全然
Dokebi
見
and
どころあるじゃん。
Forms himself. And it still looks like it will be a, a normal roam clear top down. So it's going to be an execute-oriented blitz for a late push, kind of like we see in Oregon, where you don't go for the basement elbow rush, but you do it later in the round when you're actually ready. They don't want to gamble everything on a moment's notice. They still want to go through the 1-2-3s, but still have Forrest on that shield operator when they feel like they need him. And it's worth noting that he's hiding in spawn with his shield on his back to generate less noise with the movement to try and hide this fact. So as you see, you're actually gambling so much on Forrest's individual capability, and he just pinged the double door in Bakery. It seems like he wants to rush in there at some point in the round, but someone forgot to open the door for him. That could be a problem. That was indeed the plan, because now nobody can really do it for him.
The fact that Space Station is bringing a blitz
うわ
on defense or on
マ
the
ー
final round is just
クマーク
it's
世界
something
救いすぎ
else
そ
to me.
れ
And I mean again,
だってこれでバック落としたらもう突き先できないじゃん
insane enough to pull this off is Forrest.
アシュンのちょっとあれだね、このカフェに置いて機能してないのが結構響いてるね。これで平面攻めしてもって感じになってきた。いやこれホッタンコルトが上に回らないときついよ。いやここで平面行くのは結構エグいぞ。いやこれここでさこのタク取るのがやっぱ SSG なんじゃない？ほらお互いに球切れちゃってる。マークどうやって抜いたのそれ。いやこれアシュが結構この戦術のさ核なのよ。平面でブリッツでプレッシャーかけてる間に動かして上から取るか、逆に上から抑えて動かしてブリッツの方に寄せるかっていう2択だったのに、攻撃スタートか SSG きついね。この流れで攻撃スタートは立て直し結構むずいね。フォレスト瀕死で顔死んでる。ハッカー裏でトリプルキル3回してる。ああそういうこと。いやでも俺はどう考えてもマークだと思うよ。マークが世界を救うキル連発してた。それできつくなって多分パッカーのところで3キルとかだから圧倒的にマークだよ今のマークは。マークがヒーローすぎる。特に最後アッシュン抜いたのあれマジで1ラウンド以上の価値がありすぎる。よく見た光景だねここまでは。いつも通りのオレゴン地下だね。あれ SSG だっけ。昨日柱裏に対してカワンハイブ打ちまくってた。いやさっきので取れなかったらこれ防衛スタートだったらワンチャン SSG 未来あったと思うわ。
Yeah, it's tricky. I mean, it's one of those like it can have high value, it can have low value, kind of like the Ying, but it requires a bit more finesse to accurately maneuver it around because you can bounce off walls and stuff now. SGO waiting for the go-go sign. It's gonna be, you know, EMPs, Grim Beasts flying out and momentarily looking to make their push towards the bomb side.
ガスグレネードいうのタイミングがバッチリ。これ多分タイミングずれてる。いや結構バレバレだぞ。あでもガスが甘かったな。マークが世界を救いすぎる。あこの位置ね。アトムのこのくぼみの位置強えんだよな。エイムが強すぎる。やっぱアトムもめちゃくちゃ強いね。もうなんかフォレストが眠そうにしか見えないんだけど。
Confidently, I would say. That's because possibly they're afraid of the past. But then I want to look at Merc.
いや俺もさ、死体打ちを推奨してるわけじゃないんだけど、なんかかっこいい死体打ちの仕方ってあるよ。マジで。なんか出落ちで死体打ちして、そのままもうあとおもろいこと何もできずに去っていくようにしか見えない。これ SSG 防衛サーだったらまたワンチャン変わったと思うけどね。それはもう2マップ目で決めれなかったことは全てな気がするな。いやまあ決着がどうか分かってるわけじゃないんだけど、流れはもうワイルドカードだったらなと思って。フォレストってラグビー日本代表のリーチマイケル選手ですが、そこは似てないんじゃない？ちょっと垂れ目でみたいな話でしょ。いやリーチマイケルの方がやっぱり男って感じ。フォレストちょっとキャラクター枠にマスコット枠に足半分突っ込んで。でもマスコット NA のマスコット枠って誰だっけ。あドリームさんもう殿堂入りドリームさんがいるから。すげえカバーじゃんそれ。マークキリキリだろ。
You've awoken Merc at this point.
今子供の窓から2と投げた
Super
の。
Saiyan, and nobody is going to defeat him.
あれ
What just happened? Are you serious?
そんな茶番ある
Happened before, surely.
そんな茶番ある
There was a drop from WildCard right in front of him. They basically just switched places.
Adam didn't know what happened.
そんな茶番ある
Realize what happened there.
インテリもクソ受けてるやんけ。茶番にも程があるぞ。
I would be, jeez Louise.
Okay.
What an unreal turn of events.
いやこれメジャーかけた戦いですよ。
Uncold now, musing with a
エンターテインメントはいい
trophy
です。
push.
大丈夫ですよ。エンターテインメントは真剣勝負で十分足りてます。
Down below, J9O a pick. Hot and swings in the mirror.
よく突破したなこれ。嘘でしょ
Showing good gumption. Down goes J9O. SMG out.
いやさすがにパッカーきちい。
Nitro cell tossed out.
うわニトロ落とされた。さすがにきちいこれは。
SSG swamp in the
これもうなんかパワーだけで突破し
So
た。
wrong. I mean,
アフロデさんこんにちはいらっしゃい。い
opening kill, he got the kill the same.
や気づいた気づいた。そいつが気づいてた。絶対視界入ってるから。おなんだ何か起きてる。
Been playing a my surprise. SSG, they been playing around.
うわサーフすげえ。
Quick death.
正面玄関出てた
Die
今。
as well.
それどこ抜けん
Only
の？
hard
そ
breach
こが抜
for
けるん
space
だ。
station.
でまたアシュン
and
やられた。
much touted prospect
アシュンがプロの厳しさを分からされ
Even
てる。
delayed their games to get Ashen onto the
い
roster.
やでもここで当たるのマジで大事で今の取られ方がすっごく良くなかったんだねワイルドカード流れが変わるかもしれない当たられ方して今のはマジでサーフファインプレーだね
Yeah.
たけしさんこんにちは
I mean, okay, I was gonna say there are soft walls.
Yeah,
but
they
no
do.
longer. They're being reinforced all because they recognize the damage that's been done.
外への打ち込み好きなんだ俺ブラ
What
ジ
do
ル
you
のイメー
have
ジする
now? I mean, hot and cold under can always find something, surely, but outside of that, it's a very limited options here. So yeah, they see that walls got reinforced. Feels bad, man. 6 grenades though. If you can get downstairs control and use those grenades to good effect, you could get a couple of
いや
kills.
火花失ってるの痛すぎる
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be so challenging, but a team like SSG has an abundance of gun skill, as has been displayed right there onto Merc. Forrest picking off one.
スポイトはやってるけどゴールやってるイメージあんまないけど
Adam taking some damage. I suspect the culprit of that would have been a grenade. Adam down below with the mirror window.
すげえロジックボム受けてるねアトム
Amazingly gets himself
耐え
into
る
that
耐える
position. Taking some fire with the logic bomb still ringing away. WildCard have pivoted quite gracefully. Still with the lead though. 4v3 SSG on that first floor. Half the round to go, and Adam has not moved off of this position. There goes
Yeah,
Forrest.
それはちょっ
Space
と
Station with just 2
Forrest さ
remaining now.
やっちゃいけない車線入ってない
Position is low by Adam.
上からの発
Getting
注
the
車線
value,
思いっきり引っ
staying
かかってる
alive, but then he dies trying to get up back to the bomb side.
これはフルーツが
That's my
先に
bad,
買いなか
Adam.
った
Sorry.
Caster cursed him.
Did. Just like that.
メジャー10月
But
30か
Sai still in control of the defenders, of course. SSG with limited intel, no cost left in
Oh,
both
gee,
because they gotta make a play here just off the instinctive side of things. Gotta check all the corners themselves, and they could have played from opposite sides, but instead they rotate. We see here on the roof is J9O trying to play together in this 2v3.
Packers in this rat position inside of the closet. All it takes is a single pick to essentially neuter SSG's attack. And there it comes. Packer with the shotgun out, completely flattening him. Colts is down below, as you pointed out. No logic bombs remaining. Well, here the one Banshee go off.
フルーツのこのキッチン階段取ってたのが生かしきれなかったね
So many people die at the top of white
ベッドルームが
stairs.
取れなかったもん
You've
な
got 3 separate angles to cover. You've got hard walls, you've got those bookshelves, and then you got spirit.
Not that enemies peaks.
まあでもこれはオレゴンだからしょうがないとまだ割り切れる戦いだとまだここはそんなに SSG 集中切れてるように見え
That's
ない
gonna buy you like 20, maybe 30 seconds. You kill 3-4 drones, and you just make it a little bit more difficult for the attacking team. Instead of granting them a complete freebie, but just pre-placing drones in prep phase, knowing the map is clear, and just sprinting on in. And you see here, because of that, Space Station are still actively live droning a full minute into the round. It's gonna set them a little bit behind the average pace for an attack, which means they have less time to start the execute and then go for that execute.
Setting breach charge.
Well, I mean, I agree with everything that you said.
Nice.
It's usually how it works. If I didn't agree with you, I'd probably
いやーさっきさカフェでだいぶミラが効いたからミラ対応してきてるね。ワイルドカード
Yes.
あとこのグリム作戦絶対やめないね。そこまで効果的なように見えないんだけど。
You say one wrong thing, you're done.
Don't really see that much with the way the
いやフォレスト悪くないんだけど使いどころだと思うんだよなマジで。あの尖ったアプローチはマジでフォレストにしかできないから使いどころだと思うんだけど終始それをやってくれるとさすがに読まれるよ。またやってる。
Right now from the silhouettes we see it'll be Fultz going down Freezer. The rest of SSG will be a blue and box take. There's saw one on back downstairs, nades primed and ready. Are there magnets in play from Adam? That's the question. Cole taking his lumps but still trudging on as the bees go about. High pillar. They know it's clear now. Soft walls to be
サーフの位置が抜けてるかどうか。あ、バレてる。
There's a grenade that goes out. Does some damage to Merc. Nice shot by Fultz. Surf was stuck in the corner. Not much you can do right there. Ashen will guide the diffuser in, but will have to charge through the toxic gas first and foremost. Merc on the board for wildcard. Suddenly,
J9 の差しがちょっと遅れた。いや今レートから差しに行ったんだけどあれもっと早めにやるべきだったな。多分いけないってなってリソース寄せ直したんだと思うけど間に合わなかったね。グリムはねやっぱりその強ポジに対してプレッシャーかけられるのが強い。最悪どかなくてもいいんだけど結構どかないといけない場所に対して打ち込まれてる感が強くてそれが研究が進んでる感じかな。いやチカはなんかそういう新しいことしないと動かせないんだと思う。
Honestly, this has been a really enjoyable match to watch. It's been a good match between both teams. Yeah, I mean obviously there's been mistakes committed. Both of these teams are still learning, and with the seemingly shortened stages that we're dealing with, you don't have as many game day reps to get up to speed. So for newer teams like WildCard and Space Station, who honestly themselves don't have a ton of experience with this new roster, especially adding Ashen, there's going to be some things that they need to figure out. It was still... I don't want to use exciting again. It's a really big matchup. Let's put it that way. Logic bombs go out as SSG's first focus. Tackle the upstairs portion of this Ashen leading the charge. He's got to use it in base. I don't know if you want to gamble this off. He dies. Adam picking up two. Fultz was there to possibly recover. What is going on? Space Station wandering in and getting humbled.
SSG の集中が切れてきた感がある。
Pick up every kill except for one. 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. J90 reliable as always for Space Station, but maybe too much to ask of him. Get his team out of a 1v4. You said it. A 4-2 half for Space Station while
そういえば GK が通過したからヌドルがまたメジャー行きます。あ、そうなんだ。ファルコンズじゃあ結局負けたんだね。でもやっぱり伊達じゃないんだな。EU で揉まれてた選手っていうのは。
That's what this is. He's not AFK, he's not lagged out, at least we don't believe so. This is him holding an ankle while talking to his team, saying, guys, we need this last round on attack.
まあでもフラグとの合わせかな一番怖いのがグリムは。特にそのトップリーグにおいては。それがマジで怖いから。フラグが飛んできそうな場所、例えばオレゴンのさ地下に対して何ですかって言ったらボイラー室の柱のところが怖いからさ。あそこにカワーハイブ打ち込まれて、まあ、ワンチャン ADS とかマグネットで1回座れるじゃん。スタンもちゃんと投げてくるから仮にさ1番はウォーデンだね。ウォーデンがいたとしてもカワーハイブで位置把握されたらフラグブって飛んでくるから。
or you trick your brain because being nervous and being excited about something is a very similar feeling in your stomach. So if you go, oh, I'm really excited about this thing, it's a big deal to me. You trick your mind from a negative mindset to a positive mindset, and your brain doesn't even know it. So getting yourself into that 2-4 spot from my side is how I would approach that from a mental perspective. So I think it's very important for them.
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
ただなんかねサウジアラビアの独特の文化がこれで消えていかないようにっていう気がする。ファルコンズ超絶エイム。
But only one kill over the last, what was it, 1 or 2 kills over the last 7 or 8 rounds of Kafe, and now just a single kill while playing incredibly critical roles to give your team early map control, to give your team an early pick, to keep constant presence on wildcard as well. If your entries are not performing at the level of ferocity that you expect,
詰めきれないね。やっぱガジェットでだいぶ止められてるのが。いやドローンボイで3人がかり。いや今のうまいけどねやっぱ SSG。ここなんで淡白に行くんだろうね。いや 4v4 にして次の1キルがマジで大事なのにクソ淡白みたいな陽動も何もなくて取れてなかったのかね。サーバーにはいること明らかに分かってたからな。
Yeah, I like the double play instead of Sheriff for a guaranteed trade, but then full styling alone instead of Attic is like, okay, a great play followed by a puzzling play, and now you're playing from from behind again. SSG that gotta have another one of those miracle rounds where it looks like they're out of it, but of course there's always a chance. With 18 seconds to go.
いやほらいけないよどう考えても。
Through Attic loses J90. No kills for Hot in the first half. That was the Packer special last time around. SSG, maybe you'll channel some of the energy that we saw from WildCard. Forrest gets 2 big picks, almost misses the frost mat before falling headfirst into the wall. I'm out
なんか思うんだけどサーバーの取り方マジで綺麗だったんだけどさ、その間に次のところのポイントの情報が取れてなくて並行作業ができてないから体で強引にエリア取りに行くしかなくなっちゃってるんだよね。そのあたりが多分チームの連携の課題な気はするけど、でもまあ5-1は全然オレゴン5-1は全然ある。ボールフナティックはない。それはないです。あ、まあないとは言い切れないけど、あれは単純にボーロに通訳いないからマグに来てもらってた。
Rather second, my mind.
まあ 100% ないとは言い切れないけど、まあボールはもう戻る気ないでしょ。戻ったとしても NA チームじゃない。
On back tower stairs, we'll have to go on to drone, which usually would be your first step. But he swung. If there's a player that can bail himself out of a bad situation, it's him. There's a mammoth difference right now between these teams in terms of kills. It's something we don't need to highlight more than once, but 5-5 for Fultz is the best that you're going to get.
ここは変な当たり方しようがないからなあんまり。
Extraordinary performance from WildCard with a lot of depth going all the way down. It is a bit odd to see Surf most of the action, but I guess you don't really need it when everybody else getting these kills. Small soft reset, or so we think, but Merc says I'll have seconds. He and J90 battling to the death on those stairs. The death part hasn't come yet. The battle certainly has. Just a little over a minute to go, and now WildCard will attempt.
危ね
え。narrowly dancing around the
マーク打ち勝ったんだそれ。3人いるぞ。うわーなだれ込んできた。嘘だろ。3人で階段降りたぞ。
Both at a similar spot. Both push back in laundry.
ブルーが耐えられてる。
reasserting himself over towards blue. Ashen controlling the hallway.
これローカル音がもう抑えられてるのなかなかいかないでしょ。
Both of these teams complete opposite ends.
うわー。
Of the map. Ashen attempts to stand upright. J90 is there. Series point for WildCard.
マジか。要所で全部打ち負けちゃったね。いや今だってさカイドホールのハッチ開いてないんだぞ。だからさ待ち受けるポジショニングめちゃくちゃ多かったのに階段から3人下ろしてなぎ倒して
right now.
アシュンが完全に意気消沈しちゃったねこれ。さっ
Massive issue for
きのマッ
SSG.
プから。
They banned Fender themselves because they started an attack, but I bet you they wish. Oh
きつい
boy,
ね
they wish.
これ折り返し最初の5-1だったら折り返し最初のラウンド取るってのはマジで鉄則だからな。でも俺ゴマそれができるはずだったんだけどね。
Spirits droned in towards Freezer.
スピリッツ強すぎ8の1。
J9O on the board first. That's huge for Space
8の6
Station.
の
If
後
they
の
want
落
to
とした。
keep themselves in this match, they need to take that advantage that they've been gaining, or that they've gained rather, by eliminating the Thatcher EMPs off the board and leverage it.
It's a shame there's no kite this time. It was there the previous round. It's one of those unlucky, you know, you never know what you're gonna get. But a kill is a kill, and those CMPs are still gonna find good value. Disable the discs, the Arunicas, the Thorn Razor Blooms, the Banshees, you name it. Always useful, Thatcher that is.
そっちは今回やられちゃったけど、あっちは割れそうだね。
Despite suffering the early death and focusing on getting the nuke down the Freezer staircase early, there's still action on the same pace as SSG were when they were attacking.
いやー、
Despite being met with
奥
no
の
resistance.
展開が
Still looking good for WildCard, but
出ました。
again,
選択室の
breaking
展
this
開
out
型
is
シールド
difficult.
あれが重
They
す
don't
ぎ
have
る。
any of those execution operators. No shield, no
クローレスがいいんだ。あ
camera
そこ
tower,
マ
no
ジきついん
yang,
だ
no
よな。
smokes in general. So they got nades, flashbangs, and team play, really, to break this defense.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
WildCard not knocked off of their stride too much, it looks like, though. Still
シャイコポジも
dotting
どかせてないし、
their
どうす
I's,
んの？
crossing their
フラグ2つ
T's.
残したな。
And at a moment's notice, with the final moment approaching us, 1 minute left on the clock. Yes, WildCard will be outgunned. The second attempt to take this bomb site, which they were ultimately successful on, will fall right into their lap. 5 rounds in a row needed for SSG to stay in this matchup to keep their hopes of qualifying through something that isn't the LCQs
そうだね、ハッチ階
on
段
the
だね。
table.
Attackers have
シャイコポジ潰したい
Gotta
ね。
kick yourself if you're
またホッタン
SSG.
コールドこの位置な
That
の
single
か。
round that could have
レ
taken
ーザーフォーム
you
シェルを壊してるっぽいな。
2-0. Battle M80.
いや、これも最後の合わせ。
Now,
イントロ
WildCard
は一
actually
つ残って
drubbing
る。
you. But they're in danger of, at this moment, stalling out. Fultz on the board.
ホッタンコールド落としてたけどな。
Fultz.
フーズが立って
Still more gunfire from SSG, who hold quite an advantage over Merc and Surf.
る。お！
Nice shot from Merc, who springs on
まあ
in.
さすがにだよな。
Known, tucked away behind the shield. He's out doing
選択の
and SSG stays
展開型シールドが硬すぎる。
Round.
いやマークのショットもエグかったけどな今。
Yeah, the trouble thing is that WildCard just need to get lucky a single time. I say
まあ
luck
ホッ
because
タンコールドの
crazy
ポジ
things
ションは
happen.
ね絶対やらなきゃいけない
Like
シ
a single
ャイコポジは。
That's it. So while you are just playing from 0-0, you also kind of have to be like, we can't go too crazy because the punishment is very severe.
It's the same as we saw in Cafe, right? WildCard had 0 room for error, and they managed to pull it off. They won the 3 rounds in a row, needed to go to OT. They probably should have won the 13th round, the very first overtime. They didn't. It was a bit puzzling the way it ended, and as you said, if you were WildCard, you would have been angry, but then WildCard fixed it and won the next 2. The same thing here. SSG has 0 room to make a mistake. They make one single solitary mistake, that's it. They go to the LCQ. Yeah, they fight OXG for seeding. WildCard move on. They square off against M80
熱
next
ヒ
week.
ロさんフォローありがとうございます。
So you have to have that level of mental
なんでマークがアッ
resiliency.
シュでディフューザー持ってるのこれ何す
Mental
るんだ
resiliency is not enough. You have to have the strategy
大窓
behind
狙い
it
なの
as well.
So you
これ
get the
結構パ
first
ッカー
blow
釣りだ
here.
ぞ。
Both teams playing very patiently.
なんか
Knowing that
ね
opening kill is oh
子
so
供のロック
important.
が長いんだ
I
よね後
love
の
the
窓
thing being brought out here.
なん
Just
か
like
狙ってんの
Catherine,
あいっ
boost
た
up Merc and reinforce this push right here.
There's a toxic
いややりきれないとこれきついぞ。
Slaughtering begins with over a minute
パ
to
ッカー
go,
よく
but
キープしてん
Space
の。
Station prevails
うわマ
through
ー
the
ク
ensuing
マジ
fight.
か。
Numbers turning in
うまい
favor of
ワイルドカー
WildCard.
ド。
Forest and Ash
これうまいわ。
for SSG. Hitting all of your hopes on that pack.
そのためのフィンカーだったのか。なるほどね。
Slow start
空いてないもんね
the previous map,
絶望。
but he picked things up and now helps lead the way.
いやーギズモット前持ってきてたんだけどね。
To keep his team in this will not happen.
これはうまいワイルドカード。ちょっと最後のラウンドもう一回見ていい？
7-2 the score.
これはねなんか狙ってるんだろうなっていうのは分かってたんだけどさ、これはうまいですわ。もうちょっといこうか。 もうずっとここだって停滞してるもんね。そうずっとなんか狙ってるんだよ。だから本命はマークの大窓通したいんだけど、それの準備のためにやってたんだけど、一回これどうやって封じたんだ。この配置ね、今この配置ね。フルーツと J9O がさ、食堂とさシャワー前の廊下まで展開してるじゃん。でアシュの位置は分かってんだよ。でフォレストがよく分かんない位置で会議ホール側でしょ。だから現地ホッタンしかいないんだよね。あーこれ現地の情報が薄いって取ってたのか。でフルーツは戻ってきてる。こんな感じね。ここね。子供にいたのホッタンだっけ。でパッカーこれがスタートなんだよね。ここが用意ドンなんだよね。ここまで取るのがまず一つ目のプランで、武器庫に誰がいるの。ここでカメラ壊さずに無視ぶっちぎりで、中で耐えてるのはホッタンとフルーツだけで、ホッタンが一人持っていくけど、ここで階段で全部見てるスピリッツが下流がり。パッカーのポジションキープがえぐいね。この位置だよ。だってパッカーよくすり抜けたんだよそれ。大窓階段武器庫階段ベッドルームで遅れて屋根裏だ。あ違う屋根裏じゃないのか。んアトムどこでやられたんだ。アトムどこでやられてる。アトムやっぱビッグタワーだ。だからやっぱり理論的には行くね。これ分かったぞ。整理ついたぞ。このもうちょっと前か。パッカーが用意ドンのきっかけで、ここで今分かるよね。ここでサーフが屋根裏に対してショートカットで入ってるよね。屋根裏ロングいないっていう判断だったと思うんだけど、でここから普通の入り口からパッカー詰めるでしょ。でマークが窓スピリッツが階段を押さえて、これで4人でエリア取りに行ってる。まあやっぱ中が薄い判断だなこれ。でおもろいのがこの後にアトムが屋根裏から入り直そうとしてるんだけど、そこは抑えられたんだ。欲張りセット。ここね、ここ屋根裏から屋根裏ビッグタウンに入ってるじゃん窓で。これは多分クリアリングできてなくて、もうアシュンが引いた想定で行って、最悪サーフとパッカーが落ちた時のために屋根裏取っとけばもう一回このサーフとパッカーの位置に対してアクションできるから、それで行ったんだと思う。だからそこはアシュンがうまく抑えたんだけど、現地がやっぱ薄かった分耐えられなくて、ここのホッターコールドね。これがパッカー、やっぱパッカーのキープが効いたね。気にしないといけない。やっぱキッチン界だから、ホッターコールドは何もミスしてなくて、読めずに現地を固められなかった SSG、まあ強いて言えばだけどね、これはもうワイルドカードうますぎて戻すのは難しいと思う。どこまでもうロックが入ったか分かんないんだけど、ここパッカーが近づけたのもでかいけど、これで決着だな。血の嫁さんいらっしゃい、こんにちは。これケさんです。いやこれはもう組織的にワイルドカードが上でしたって話だね。逆によくファーストマップ SSG 取ったなって感じだった。だからまあそういう意味でやっぱりマップによってはワイルドカードも少し隙があるかなって感じで、ここって M80 だよね。あ、最後にあれ見ようぜ。トーナメントよ見してくれ。これやな。おー M80 ワイルドカード来週ですね。これはダークゼロとソニックスとなりましたということで、今日締め切りの書類が終わってないこの試合くらいやばい大丈夫だよ。 SSG みたいに OT に持ち込めばいいから。まあでも面白そうだね。ここはなんかちょっと読み合い行き過ぎて一周回って硬い試合になってあんまり動きなくてじりじりとした試合展開になるかもしれないけど、いや楽しかったな。もう OT なんですよ草。 SSG になるかワイルドになるかどっちかだな。こちら来週でございますので、来週また見たいと思います。というわけで月曜の朝かな、次ライブ配信するのは。まあ週末ちょっと TGS だったりするからあれなんだけど、明日はね一日特に予定がないから、明日はちょっとゲーム配信できたらやりたいなと思ってるけど、いろいろ溜まってることがあるので、僕もオーバータイムほどじゃないですけどいろいろ作業して時間あったらツイッチ配信したいと思うので、よかったら遊びに来てください。というわけで今日も朝早くからありがとうございました。 YouTube の方にねアーカイブこれ残してるんで、今日今から 昨日見てたグループステージの最終戦 NA 上げる予定なので、もしね見逃した人がいたら、一応 Twitch でもアーカイブ見れますけども、 YouTube に上げる方はね、音量調整とあと試合感なんか話してなかったり水取りに行ってたらバッサリ切ってるんで、さらに見やすいと思います。ということで皆さんありがとうございました。また明日なんかゲーム配信したいと思うんで、よかったらそちらも遊びに来てください。フォローもサブスクもお待ちしております。ということでまたお会いしましょう。ではではお疲れ様です。